Oh, what day is it today?
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Ooh, Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, do you know what day it is today?
Hump day.
It is. Wow. Is that what happened? Is that AARP hump day? Is that
Hump
what's
day.
Okay, it's a little bit better, Peter.
Well,
Changes.
and don't go to our locals page and look for Darius's thing. We are not having a shindig.
So this was Brock's great idea for April
This
Fools.
would have been a great idea.
No. He was like, you should come on just yourself, and you should come on and be like, look, Michael's going to come, and he's going to do Brock's job. It's too expensive or whatever. So we're going to get rid of Brock, and Brock's not going to be here anymore. Ha, 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 April Fools. And
That's
I was
not
like,
how I was going to have it set up.
It's so dumb. It's so man-child.
We only get to lie one day a year.
I'm not lying to the people. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say?
I thought it would have been funny.
What did I say?
I don't want to lie to people.
Thank you very much.
You get fake news about me all the time.
Whatevs. Anyway, hi, everybody. How are you? It's great to be with you. We got 2,000 people. We are breaking the internet. It's all good. I'm delighted you're here. Okay, so we're sliding, guys, on the leaderboard. We were number 7 again yesterday. It makes me nervous. Like, I want to be in the top 5, and it involves a lot from you, so I'm appreciative. If you hit that thumbs up button underneath the video box, if you hop in and give us, okay, how does everybody feel about President Trump going to the Supreme Court and listening to these arguments in this birthright citizenship case? I want to know what you guys think. I was watching, who was it?
In the comments section.
Who was it who was bitching about it? Van Jones? I don't think that's a good look for the president.
Why? He's a citizen.
The whole world, by the way, is watching this whole decision, because then you have unfettered anchor babies forever. And it's big business for people from other countries who are wealthy to come here and have a baby.
It's all going to come down to Amy Comey Barrett.
It's literally a business. Well, if she's not a dumb bitch, she'll do what needs to be done. So we'll see. So my question to you is, do you think it's wrong for the president of the United States to go and listen to the arguments? There's this huge audience outside on the steps of the Supreme Court. Really? Did they call 1-800, come fight? What is it?
I love Trump going to the Supreme Court. He is doing it to make them feel uncomfortable. I think it's a great look.
Do the right thing. Everything that he has done now hinges on this.
Yeah.
Literally. Because if the justices decide, well, I know it was back in slavery, this citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment. I know it was about babies born to slaves. But we think it's still applicable today, and anybody who comes here, gives birth, boom, their child is an American citizen, and at the age of 21, they can bounce in their whole family.
And that's what Alito said. He's like, times have changed. They're an airplane ride away from anywhere in the world getting here.
Like that.
Or if you're a Democrat, just let them walk across the border.
5 o'clock tonight. Here's everybody.
Yeah.
Right? And we're going to go back in time. We're going to hyperspace back in time and give you a little story that we've known about for a long time about this is big business to pay to bring pregnant ladies over and give birth.
Yep. Big business.
And the president talks about that. So we're going to talk about that. I want to thank Ireland Contracting. I have them on the mind today. I was very appreciative. Gary Ireland, owner of the company, comes over to my house as I noticed leaks. He's the one who told me I need a new roof likely. But he fixed the 2 areas. He was able to diagnose one issue because we had a huge storm last night. No water in the house. And then he fixed this other issue where we had this, thing pulling off the wall and he needed to hammer it back in. Whatever. Totally dry. Love him.
No new roof.
Love him. Love him. It's inevitable. It just doesn't have to be next Tuesday, is what that told me last night. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. If you want to go with somebody you trust, they'll give you a free estimate. You need siding, you need all new windows, you need new roofing, boom. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. I think NASA big hoax Maybe Trump has to play along to expose them. I'm missing all of these conversations you guys are having as I'm trying to do this.
Are you going to the comments?
No, I was just looking at 77 comments right now. Hi, guys. Hi, Stag. What's going on, Glow? Hi, Goody. Hi, Hammerhead. Hi, Al. Oh, Al's great. And he printed out, or he sent me, my ghost bed testimonial. That is a good man. Al is the one who crunches all the numbers. So Al Good Cool is my man. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. Let's do this. Let's have a great show. We got lots to do today. I love this show, by the way. I think it's going to be phenomenal. Or else.
Yeah, right.
Brock wanted to be fired. Okay.
Wow.
4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at me.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America. Greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain, and welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. Hey, I know every day is an opportunity to get new ears, new eyes on this show, and I think we do something that's pretty basic but unusual. We show up every day. We will outwork anybody, and we will do everything we can to always give you the truth. That's what this show is all about. Now, I am a common sense conservative mom, and that is the lens through which I see most of the news. But you are common sense as well, as is your president. And it's very nice to hear him do the things that he's doing. We're going to hear from him tonight. I'm going to talk about his address to the nation, ostensibly to say this offensive in Iran is about wrapped up. So let's get to it. Sit down, grab some coffee or whatever. Just hang out for a while. WendyBellRadio.com. And thank you. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, if you follow this program with any regularity, you know I harp about the garbage situation in my city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's one of those things that is so unnecessary that drags everybody down. Because when you see garbage all over the side of the highway, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal to just chuck something out the window and add to it. And so then after a while, you have filth. Well, with the NFL draft rolling into town, we've got crews out, 400 tons of filth along the roadways, 50 miles of roads. It's all been picked up. And as I was driving in this morning, the mattress that's been propped up at the Squirrel Hill on-ramp to the Parkway East inbound, that's been there for about 6 months, that has been through snowstorms and torrential downpours, and is no doubt 1,000 pounds, is finally gone from the highway. Thank you. Thank you. Now, if we can do something kind of lickety-split when the city feels like it, because there's the NFL draft coming into town and everybody needs it to look good, so you put your best face forward. I don't like that. I don't think you should be somebody in person and then different when nobody else is around. And I think that you would be very disappointed if you ran into me at the grocery store, at the airport, or if I was out and about at a restaurant with my family, And you came over to say hi to me, and I was anything other than what you would expect. That is why the trash situation in my community has me so frustrated, because it's not a big lift. It's not a big ask. It's basic decency and self-respect. And I'm tired of looking at people who've lost theirs. I'm tired of the administrations that continue to get elected in blue cities such as mine that never change anything. If anything, it gets worse. Why? Are you too lazy? Are you not competent? Do you not care? D, all of the above. It's not acceptable if you're going to be a leader. This is one of the many reasons why I appreciate Donald Trump. You might find some of the things that he says or truths out, or some of his comments, like, good, I'm glad he's dead, when Bob Mueller died. You might find some of those things a little cringy. Maybe you wouldn't do them. But you are not him, and nor am I. Easy to criticize. Hard to be the guy. But what he has been consistent. He has been true to the words that he has said. Whether the interviews were 40 years ago, as he was building his real estate portfolio, growing the Trump brand, making deals, or whether it was just 10 years ago, 11 years ago, moments after he came down that escalator and told the world he believed he had the goods, that he, in fact, might be the only chance for this country to not completely go down the toilet. See, the garbage on the side of the road makes me so unhappy, because that's what it looks like when it's time to flush. And I'm tired of living in a community that has no self-respect, no dignity, no care. This president does. You don't develop a brand like the Trump name by lying to people. You don't develop a portfolio that back in 2015, when he was announcing he was running for president, that he admitted to everybody, had tax filing data. He had his accountant crunch all the numbers. Here is my net worth. $8 billion, he said. My hands and assets worth $8 billion. He said, I'm not here to brag about that, though. I don't need this job. I don't need the paycheck. I'm not here for an ego boost. I'm here because somebody has to save this country before the plunger, the flusher, is done doing its job. He has been very consistent about many things. Traditional family values, about safety, about following the rules, about doing what one should do, especially when no one is looking. He's been very consistent about Iran. And he said on June 16th, 2015, these very words that you are going to hear, no doubt, tonight at 9 o'clock when the president addresses America. Here's Trump 11 years ago.
I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons, and we won't be using a man like Secretary Kerry that has absolutely no concept of negotiation, who's making a horrible and laughable deal, who's just being tapped along as they make weapons right now.
What we're going to do is bomb the boop out of them. He's been very clear about that. This isn't some, we're going to negotiate endlessly with a country that lies to us and never fulfills what it says it's going to do. And so they effed around and found out. I like that about this man. I don't find that there are lots of surprises. And because of that, the relentless assault on him offends me. Because every article that's written to demean him, to diminish him, to do something to dismantle the Trump name is time that's not being spent talking about real problems, real abuse. Last night before he went to bed, President Trump wrote this on Truth Social. Doesn't mince words. And if I were Keir Starmer over in the UK, I'd be going, oh, snap. This is what he wrote. All of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran. I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the U.S. We have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage. Go to the Strait and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil. President DJT. You've got to love it. The man is nothing but loyal, consistent, real, dependable. And in this crazy world where all of a sudden Democrats, who were the party of slavery, of course, Democrats who were the ones who were against LGBT, all that jazz, until all of a sudden they saw that community, the rainbow crowd, as an opportunity, right? This Democrat Party that's now sold out the country to illegal aliens and is basically given my unborn grandchildren's wealth to them and has robbed us of our security and our safety. Damn right, I stand next to this president. Damn right. He also put out something last night that I think was intriguing. And this is what he wrote, which I believe is going to be the basis of tonight's conversation, 9 o'clock. Iran's new regime president, much less radicalized and far more intelligent than his predecessors, has just asked the United States of America for a ceasefire. We will consider when the Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. Until then, we are blasting Iran into oblivion, or as they say, back to the Stone Ages, President DJT. Every move he makes, every bit of collateral, every bit of leverage, every deal, everything. He knows damn well what he wants. And what he wants is always good for America. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's talk about Operation Epic Fury. Let's go into the Oval Office yesterday. Signed some pretty important emergency orders, if you will. Be nice to see the freaking Senate do its job and pass one of something. A girl can dream. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. So I am super excited to tell you about a new sponsor, okay? And this is someone Brock and I both know personally, a man whose character I can vouch for. A man who wants you, all of you, if you're getting boned right now with your health insurance, if you have questions because you don't know where to go, if you're under the age of 65, I want you to pay close attention to me. Because Tom Yakupin is the guy, our friend, who has a business that wants to invite you to get the health coverage you need without getting screwed over with extras. If you're a young man like my son, Michael, who's off the family health insurance and needs coverage, you know somebody, this is your children, and you're like, I don't even know where to go. I do. Why does Michael need to pay for maternity? He's not going to get pregnant anytime soon. He shouldn't. So I want to read this to you. What if your health insurance actually worked for you? And not against you, right? Can you imagine cutting your monthly premium in half? That sounds pretty good to me. Health Revolution, that is the name of this company, offers innovative health plans that save you 30 to 60%. 30 to 60% compared to the most of the Affordable Care Act marketplace plans. No copays, reasonable deductibles, right? And the freedom to see any doctor you choose. If you like that, and I haven't even proceeded, I want you to write this down. info.healthrevolution.net. info.healthrevolution.net. There's also a phone number, 800-868-6187. If you missed it, go back. 800-868-6187. If you're self-employed, if you're paying for your own coverage, if you're on COBRA, or you're just done overpaying and you're under the age of 65, Health Revolution will custom design a plan built around your life, your needs, your desires. info.healthrevolution.net. I am geeked. This is a conversation I'm having with my son, and I'm going to help him with this get connected. Tom told me off the record, Michael could probably get the great coverage for $300 a month. Okay.
That's doable.
I can do that. We could do that. I mean, I'm not going to do it. He could do that. But the $900 that Brock pays.
That's just for medical. What about the $2 I pay for eye and dental, which is absurd?
Yes. info.healthrevolution.net.
You can see it more. It's in the description.
Write it down. Open it up. Fill out the form. They'll get in touch with you. I'm super geeked. And a Secretary of War and a Secretary of State who come forward and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to eliminate Iran's ability to make a nuclear weapon ever again, at least for decades, right? Number two, we're going to take out their military. We're going to destroy all of their naval vessels. We're going to destroy all of their drones. Number three, right? We're going to destroy all of their munitions, all of the missiles, and then we're going to destroy all of the factories and make all of it. And if they still want to fiddle with us and they still want to fire rockets at people and they still want to fiddle with the ships passing in the Strait of Hormuz, we will destroy every last fragment of their infrastructure, their power grid, their water treatment plants, and their oil facilities. Bye-bye. One call, one day, over. And still the people in the media and the Democrats are confused by this. See, mission is almost accomplished. And to this president, when the mission is almost accomplished, you let people know, and then you let the military know, we're going to be wheels up soon. The people of Iran are now in charge. So this is what's going on tonight. Trump says the U.S. will exit Iran in 2 to 3 weeks. Let's listen to what he said. This is yesterday in the Oval Office. And I think this is one of the, I don't know if this is Wei Zhang or whatever. She's in charge of the White House press corps, whatever. But they're asking him about, they want this to be a drumbeat that they can hit on repeatedly. This ridiculous war. Well, it's almost over. So how about you suck it? Here you go.
I think with 2 or 3 weeks.
Not 3 weeks. If it is,
we'll leave because there's no reason for us to do this. Look, problem with the Strait, a guy can take a mine, drop it in the water, and say, "Oh, it's unsafe." It's not like you're taking out an army or you're taking out a country, or they can drop it, or you can take a machine gun from the shore and shoot a few bullets at a ship, or maybe an over-the-shoulder missile, small missiles. That's not for us. That'll be for France. That'll be for whoever's using the Strait. But I think when we leave, probably that's all cleared up. Today I heard tremendous numbers of ships were sailing through. We're negotiating with them right now. They've been, again, we have had regime change. Now, regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal. I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon. And that goal has been attained. They will not have nuclear weapons. But we're finishing the job. And I think within maybe 2 weeks, maybe a couple of days longer to do the job. But we want to knock out every single thing they have. Now, it's possible that we'll make a deal before that, because we'll hit bridges, and we've hit some. We'll hit some bridges. Got a couple of nice bridges in mind. But if they come to the table, that'll be good. But it doesn't matter whether they come or not. We've set them back. It'll take 15 to 20 years for them to rebuild what we've done to them.
nuclear weapons. Iran will have no nuclear weapons. That consistency, for 11 years, the guy's been saying it as a political entity. And I bet if we went back in time, we would find public statements he's made as a businessman about Iran, right? So there he goes. This was our goal. We went in. We achieved our objective. We're very close to achieving the others. And when we do, as much as we'd love Iran to have a responsible leader, that's not the reason we went in there. The Iranian people will have to take over the same way Keir Starmer and Macron and the others who were limp-wristed in assisting the United States protecting the Strait of Hormuz. They can handle the ancillary thugs on the shore who remain from the Iranian regime. We'll be out of there, and that will be that. Now, how is the left going to beat that? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to say. I don't care. I feel like you and I have been been kept in the loop the whole time. President Trump said Tuesday, Operation Epic Fury in Iran will come to an end in the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, perhaps even sooner. His comments came while fielding questions from reporters after signing an election integrity executive order to ensure mail-in ballots are only given to and returned by eligible voters. It's such an amazing idea. What? There's a barcode on the outside of your envelope, and that barcode is specific to you, and you are identifiable in a federal database. What? That the feds are going to share with the states so they can't cheat. No wonder all of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran. I have a suggestion for you. One buy from the U.S. We got lots of oil too. Build up some freaking courage. Grow up. Get your oil yourself. There's a lot of finger wagging going on from a lot of bureaucrats who sit behind desks and have no idea what the actual war is like. Well, you're going to hear from them today, the people pushing back. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Trump visits the Supreme Court. He was there moments ago. Is he still there? Not sure, but people twist it. What's he hearing about this birthright citizenship? Why do you care about it? Oh, you care. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I've spent 2 nights on my ghost bed, and now I know why they named it Ghost Bed. It is supernaturally comfortable. I slept straight through the night without flipping and flopping. My hips did not hurt. I don't even feel the bed move when my husband moves around. And the cooling is great. It keeps my temperature just right. I don't get hot when I'm snuggled under the blankets, but it also doesn't make me feel cold. This bed is amazing, Cindy says that. I know. So this is how I feel about a lot of these sponsors that we have. You're like, a mattress. It's very expensive. And then you're like, it's been 12 years. It's been 15 years since we've gotten a new one. Let's check this ghostbed.com/Wendy out. And you start reading about the company. And you start reading about who they are and what they're about and how it started. And then you read about it's all made in America, America products. This isn't outsourced to Japan. This is here in the US of A. And it gets to your house. You order it online and you take it in and you open it up and it inflates. It basically gets its life. You let it sit for a couple, like maybe 24 hours so it fully gets to its firmness, its shape. And then go to town, sleep, enjoy. Oh my gosh. right? 101 nights. You can test it. I don't know of a company that does that. Sleep on our mattress. And if you don't like it, we'll get it back from you. Like what? 101 nights. So don't make any excuses. Go check them out. See if maybe this is something that would intrigue you. I'm telling you, I have one. It's money. It's money. I got the hybrid. It's got that little pillow top on top of it. That's a little squish, but not too much. And the base of it's firm, but not too hard. I know. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. Yeah, we need a new computer. We're getting some fiber optic stuff going on in the building. And our computer here is about to crap the bed. So it's the next thing to fix. And that is why I am consistently grateful for you. I know that we have a lot of sponsors, and I know you guys sit and you listen to me jaw about them every day. But a lot of you also pick up the phone and help me out, and you trust us, and you go get these products. I love them. If I didn't love these sponsors, we wouldn't have them. Just wouldn't. So thank you. I'm deeply indebted to you, right? What are you thinking? So my friend Diane, who went to the Simkovich Concussion Institute, sent me a message today. She said that she went to Dr. Simkovich for her last treatment at the Simkovich Concussion Institute. And this is after, 4 days in a row of pretty intense treatment. And then like once a month or once every 2 weeks or whatever it is after that for 4 follow-up visits, kind of like tune-ups. And she's my friend who had really bad tremors, essential tremors. And that's not what Dr. Simkovich, that's not really the purview of the Simkovich Concussion Institute. But I asked him, I'm like, I really love my friend and I'd love it if there's any way I could connect dots and maybe help her. And she said 75 to 80%. Her tremors have improved. She said she went and Dr. Simkovich told her that another person with essential tremors is now going to see him. So all she wanted was to maybe open the door to somebody else. All I wanted was to open the door to her and to you. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. 412-366-3700. Don't suffer. You don't have to. I mean that.
I'm going to hopefully order one today.
Yeah. Amen. We'll just pull the trigger, get it here.
Have it by Monday.
Yeah. And see if we can get Jason's help.
I can hook it up.
You can?
I think so.
I know you can.
They're mostly just plug and play now. But I'm going to ask Jason if he can test the line to make sure if I need to
everything.
get new Cat 5 cable or... And I think I'm going to order, I need to get another. So my system is I have to plug in, excuse me, and have a special thing to be able to plug in.
To the internet.
I think I'm going to get another one too when I order the computer for my side computer because it's just.
Well, you're probably going to have to replace that one too. So, I mean, we're looking right there. Backup. If we get Brock a new computer, if I get him another computer, that'll be another $4,000. And then this one will be $1,500, right? It's the cost of doing business. It's the cost.
I have Michael looking into it,
right? So that's why we're so grateful for you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to do that. And the cute. I'm not asking for you to throw money at me right now, but when you guys do that, every now and again, it matters.
Doesn't go to beer.
It does not go to beer. I can tell you that. So,
or a raise.
But we do love you. Sherry, what are you doing? Sherry. Marsha.
Way to start some crap.
I have a curl right here that makes me look like I'm one of the Hasidic Jews in my neighborhood. You know how they have they have the really tight ones that come down. That's me. I'm equal opportunity
what
today.
What are the cords?
I don't know.
I saw that the one day I was coming to your place. Yeah. I don't know what the cords mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask my Jewish neighbors, of which most are. story today, an interesting reason for the president to be sitting in for oral arguments at the Supreme Court. Obviously, this is something that's being choreographed on the outside because much like the Roe versus Wade, the decision that dropped, the secret that nobody could find out, who's the leaker? I have no idea. Whose baggie of drugs was that? I have no idea, right? We're all so shocked. This is like the worst kept anything. And they have crowds on demand outside with signs, waiting to hear what the Supreme Court is saying about birthright citizenship. Look, if you're in the United States as a student, right? Say you're from the Philippines. I don't care where you're from. El Salvador, China, it doesn't matter where you're from. You're here in the United States. You get pregnant. You have a baby here in the United States. A baby is an American citizen, has a birth certificate. Should it be that way? Should that be what the framers meant by the clause in the 14th Amendment that has to do with citizenship? It really wasn't what they intended because it was written 158 years ago, okay? And it was written to basically give citizenship to the children of slaves. So one would imagine anybody who was a slave, a woman, who whether romantically on their own behalf or whether or not they were forced into it by a plantation owner or what have you, got pregnant, had a baby. The citizenship clause was like, they're a citizen. They are a citizen of this country. So now the left wants to use this in order to give anybody who comes to this country. And it's a business, by the way. This is a very high dollar business. If you come across the border for free under Joe Biden, that's one thing. But if you come in from other countries, and Russia is a big one, China is another big one, where you have very wealthy families who basically get pregnant, and then the mom-to-be flies over here to America, sets up shop, has the baby, and that is the process of the entire family coming over. That's not how it was intended to be. So President Trump is very serious about this. He's like, look, you shouldn't be able to rip off the system. And then, by the way, the majority of these people, I'm sure, I can't tell you this for certain, but one would argue these people who come here from other countries and have babies, they probably end up on our social services for which you and I pay, right? Enough is enough. So the justices are considering whether Trump's order excluding children of illegal immigrants from birthright citizenship violates the 14th Amendment. That is what is at play here. So the president attending the oral arguments, this happened just moments ago, and he said something very interesting in the Oval Office yesterday that we wanted to play for you. Peter Ducey from Fox News is asking him about this and, about this decision from the High Court. And the president drops on him at that moment. Oh, yeah, I'm going to hear these arguments. Listen.
Rick. And the Supreme Court tomorrow is going to hear arguments about your executive order trying to get rid of birthright citizenship.
And I'm going.
You're going to go to the Supreme Court
I think
tomorrow?
so. I do believe.
And just sit there and listen.
Because I have listened to this argument for so long, and this is not about Chinese billionaires or billionaires from other countries who all of a sudden have 75 children or 59 children in one case or 10 children becoming American citizens. This was about slaves. And if you take a look, slaves, we're talking about slaves from the Civil War. And if you take a look at when it was filed, all of this legislation, all of this, everything having to do with birthright citizenship, it was at the end of the Civil War. The reason was it had to do with the babies of slaves and the protection of the babies of slaves. It didn't have to do with the protection of multi-millionaires and billionaires wanting to have their children get an American citizenship. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And I would agree with him. It was June 13th, 1866 that the 14th Amendment was passed by Congress. 158 years ago, it was ratified on July 9th. 1868, 158 years. Today, babies born to foreign mothers here in this country, people who are not citizens, account for 7% of all live births. That's a lot, you guys. That's a lot. So whether they're coming across the border or they're rich and they're flying in to do this, it is purposeful. Create an anchor baby, a citizen, and then at the age of 21, that individual can then bring into America their families, get them green cards. Absolutely. That's the process. And then all of a sudden you have dozens of people from one family because of what? Now, this is the numbers game that the left needs. They don't want to lose a single person, right? And if they could get this birthright citizenship thing going, well, I want you to hear, though, it's not like this is a new problem. This is something that we've known about for years, that the president has spoken about for years, the same way he's spoken about Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. This president has said for nearly as long, you can't have these people coming over and conning the system to give birth. Cynthia McFadden over at, I even forget, is she ABC, whatever they are, NBC, she did a story on pregnant women from Russia, wealthy women from Russia, coming here to America to do exactly what the president said. This is 2018, ladies and gentlemen. This might put into perspective what the high court is considering right now.
In Florida alone, foreign births have skyrocketed nearly 90% in just the past decade. Many of the women are Russians paying big money to come here, and you'll be surprised, as we were, at where many of them stay. Florida is known for many things: sunshine, beaches, and now as a place where hundreds of Russians come every year to have their babies. That's right, Russian women who give birth to American babies. It's controversial for sure, but totally legal. Any baby born in the U.S. is automatically an American citizen. It's in the Constitution. It's become a status symbol in Russia to have a Miami-born baby who comes complete with a precious U.S. passport. Mothers proudly post pictures of their newly minted American citizens. Over the past 4 months, we've met dozens of Russian women who've done it.
Oh, it's really common. When I was taking the plane to come here, there was not only me, there was another 4 or 5 women flying here.
Why do they come? Besides the good weather and the good doctors?
American passport is a big plus for the baby. Why not?
It sure is. All these babies will have the right to live and work here, receive benefits, and when they turn 21, they can sponsor their parents for an American green card.
We're the only place just about that's stupid enough to do it.
As a candidate, Donald Trump called for an end to birthright citizenship.
You want to get rid of birthright citizenship?
You have to get rid of, yes, you have to. What they're doing, they're having a baby, and all of a sudden nobody knows the baby's here. You have no choice.
But ironically, condo buildings bearing the Trump name are among the most popular for Russians, who sign short-term leases with the condo owners.
We live in Trump Palace. It's a very popular place.
There are dozens of agencies that help women come to the U.S. In Moscow, we found one openly advertising American citizenship. The agencies do it all, helping clients find luxury apartments, doctors, and even assist with obtaining visas in the baby's U.S. passport.
How much do you think this is going to end up costing you and your husband?
Near $50,000. Yeah.
$50,000.
Yeah.
And it's worth it.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. Yeah. So it's interesting how Cynthia McFadden, even in 2018, couldn't resist the Trump connection. A lot of these rich billionaires' wives are coming here and they're staying at the Trump Tower. And you're like, so what? And then later in the interview, Cynthia McFadden comes back on set. Sheila, thanks, Bob. Thanks, Sheila, right? And she's like, we reached out to the Trump administration for some kind of clarity about why all these people are staying at his properties, but we haven't gotten it. That's not the story, Cynthia. The story is the system is easily manipulatable, and it's been manipulated since well before this story ran 8 years ago. Right? It's got to stop somewhere. So I think this is kind of interesting when you think about it. This president, again, consistent 8-10 years ago. We're the only country dumb enough to say to other countries, rich people, come on over, have your baby here. Once you have your baby here, your baby is entitled to every single freebie. Free schooling. He or she can get free health care, right? Everything in the world you could possibly need. Social services, food stamps, what have you. It's all a giant suck. You get nothing out of it, but you pay for it. Aren't you tired of that? It's how I feel when I drive the Parkway or I drive anywhere within 30 miles of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's garbage everywhere. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to stop the problem. It doesn't take a whole lot of money to stop the problem. But what happens is you have 3 never Trump Supreme Court justices who will not look at the situation in a judiciously objective way. They will not consider the law. They will not consider the framers. They consider one thing. Anything that Donald Trump wants, we're against. That is a problem. And later in his Oval Office comments, the president even said that. You shouldn't know the minute you're in a situation like the January 6ers that there is no way in hell you're going to get a fair trial. That is why the president went to the Supreme Court today. That is why he went. He wanted his justices, the 6 who should be on his side, to do what needs to be done. Do what is right and do what you know is good for America. That's the scary part. That it takes the president going to the highest court in the land to hopefully shock them, get the paddles all greased up, clear, bzzzt, right? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, why is birthright citizenship something we need to care about? Will Kane with a great by the wall demonstration yesterday. It is so good. You got to hear it next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. He's consistent. There's nothing this president says where I'm like, what? Even Greenland. We're going to buy it. We want to buy it. We're going to take it. What? How about Canada? He's like, come on in. You could be our 51st state. People went haywire. But there's a reason why he says all of these things. There's a reason. There's always a reason. Donald Trump doesn't do random, right? I find that comforting. He also said something kind of cryptic yesterday in the Oval Office that caught my attention. He's like, look, we neutralized this Iranian uranium situation. And he's like, for at least 20 years. Hopefully there's going to be another president like me at that time who will do the same damn thing that I do, because they're going to try to do it again. They're going to try to enrich it again. They're going to try to build it again. And in 20 years, 15 years, whatever it's going to be, there's got to be somebody who's got the balls who blows them the hell up. He almost hinted 20 years. There's going to be somebody like me. Really? Barron?
Not old enough.
I know. No, he would be.
Oh, yeah, he'd be 38.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, I heard that and was like, what? All right.
People are throwing money at you.
I wasn't saying that. That's not what I was saying. That's why I don't like reading that Rumble Wallet read. Because it's in there where it's like, you couldn't give money to them. And I'm like, that's not what I was asking for, but I love you very much, and you know this. All right? Who do I want to talk about? Do I have time? Disinfectwithsniper.com. I used it today ad nauseum. Ryan got home for Easter. I'm super excited. My 3rd son is home, and I'm like, boop. And so I cleaned everything in the world with Sniper. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Everything there we love. It is a mishmash of things. You can get Hunt Chef spices, right? Eat what you kill. I love that motto as a business. Hell yeah. You got Sniper, you've got Harmony, you've got Knockout, you've got that dead weed brew, whatever the hell that is. That's awesome. Stuff for the yard. Keep the deer away from your hosta. Disinfectwithsniper.com. All this stuff. Plus artwork.
Yeah, we got the 3 winners.
We got 3 winners?
Yeah.
Oh, we're so excited. We're going to be able to drop that.
Scott from Maryland. I'm just keeping your names private. Darlene from Texas.
Oh, nice.
And Anita from Baden.
Ooh.
So keep an eye out for an email, and they're going to let you choose which print you would like.
That's very exciting. Thank you guys for your help. Our friend is closely aligned with the local library in town.
His whole community.
He's such a giver, backer, tour. And he supports this, anything that raises money for the library system.
Yeah.
Which is great. What'd you say?
The people throw money.
No,
CJTRN20 Computer Fund. Thank you for all you do. Lady in Pink 6. It'll be first Wendy. I don't know what that means. Team Zeppelin 2. WBR Computer Fund. T Brooks 123. Forget the computer. This is beer money. 20. And then he gave another 20. T Brooks 123. What the hell? Get a 12 pack. Get 2 12 packs.
Oh my God, you're so nice. That's not what I was saying.
No.
Thank you. That's lovely. Let's see where you're up to with the comments. We are up to 234. All right, today I want 3,000 rumbles, and we're trying to hit 800 comments.
Wow.
So let's keep chatting. I love what you guys are. It's a game. See, I'll play the game. But I won't sacrifice what we do, right? Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program, Birthright Citizenship. You know, it's not a secret that America is the greatest place in the world. That as much as the Democrats, the swamp, the deep state, the rhinos who suck just as much as they've tried to ruin this country, there is no finer place on this planet to be. Arguably, we take it all for granted. I know I do. But anybody who for a hot second defended the Iranian regime and thought it was ridiculous that this president went in and bombed them into the atmosphere doesn't seem to remember the what? What's the conventional number now? 40,000 protesters who wanted more from their government, didn't want to starve anymore. They wanted access to real freedom. In the year 2026, 34,000 that the Ayatollah and his disgusting minions assassinated, shot dead, snipers on buildings, went into hospitals, shot patients in surgery to the head. That's called barbarism. That's called insanity. That's a darkness that, much like their uranium, needs to be obliterated. This president understands what's at stake with this case. Will Kane, Fox News, does this great walk by, and he's like, look, let's show you what happens when you grant citizenship, basically to anybody that the Democrats want. It's beautiful. Here you go.
Let's start here with some examples of some of the types of individuals we could be talking about, like Juan Carlos Valencia Gonzalez. Now, Juan Carlos Valencia Gonzalez was born in Santa Ana, California in 1984. His parents were from Mexico. He happens to also be the stepson of El Mencho, the leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. And now he is reportedly leading that very same cartel. And here's the thing. He is a United States citizen by birth. And it doesn't stop there. Reports of foreign wealth being used to manipulate the system. One Chinese billionaire reportedly has more than 100 U.S.-born children through surrogacy. The idea, build a future family and a business succession plan. Some clients, by the way, request up to 100 babies via multiple surrogacies. It can cost as much as $200,000. And why would they do that? Because babies born here are automatically U.S. citizens. Also, surrogacy is illegal in China. Nearly 41% of international surrogate parents in the United States are Chinese. So why is this such a debate? Look around the world. Much of Europe has restricted birthright citizenship. Asia basically ended it. The United States, still one of the few countries around the world that sits as an outlier.
And that is why President Trump, on board his own plane as he was running for, no, actually he was president. He was aboard Air Force One when Chuck Todd from Meet the Press was on there talking to him about, we're the only country that's this stupid. How dumb. We're the only ones dumb enough to reward with every freebie in the world a child born in this country. We don't think the system's being manipulated. Come on. For how long has it been manipulated, for heaven's sakes? And we remember when it wasn't that long ago. Harry Reid, the senator, right? Because I remember it was like 30 odd years ago. And Harry Reid, sounding very different as a member of the Democrat Party than the co-opted, controlled, progressive wing of the party today. He was like, look, this birthright citizenship, it's not good for America. Let's tap into that. Here's Senator Harry Reid from like 33 years ago.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough, how about offering a reward for being an illegal immigrant? No sane country would do that, right? Guess again. If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship and guarantee of full access to all public and social services this society provides. And that's a lot of services. And we wonder, in this country, why we have an illegal immigration problem.
It's a mystery to everybody involved, isn't it then, huh? So this is something that's been going on for years and years and years, and it took one dude, Donald Trump, to say enough is enough. Iran has been terrorizing people for decades, right? Everybody knows it. It took one guy, Donald Trump. We're going to end it. Where are all of the other leaders? Who are these people? Because they're not doing their jobs. And what's going on now with this high court case is it ties in very interestingly into the next hour of this program. Let's talk about why the president was in the Oval Office with his big fat Sharpie. He signed something regarding mail-in ballots, and the left ought to be going freaking bananas because they need all these foreigners to vote, ladies and gentlemen. They don't got the numbers. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Maybe Comey Baird's going to go with the left.
Yeah. She's worthless. You know, and it's like, oh, I don't want to be looked at as being too extreme. No, see, it's a job.
Well,
the job is to look at the law. And if there's precedent, look at the precedent. If it's outdated or it's being bastardized, manipulated, massaged, whatever you want to, you got to be able to say it. She's weak.
Well, she said that it'll cause all kind of confusion. That's not your job to decide what's going to be confusing and what's not going to be.
Exactly. Let President Trump pick up the trash. Okay?
He's not a
You can sit there and tell us, oh my God, it's so much work. We're never going to get it done. And then there's Trump. He's like, you do this, you do that, and we'll regroup in 2 hours. Go.
You know what? I'd be
takes a
lump it
businessman
in with you can't be in Congress with dual citizenship.
Thank you. You're either
your
here
allegiance
or you're
is
not.
to America,
yes.
right?
Ilhan Omar, get the out.
Well, you know, not just her. All the people who have dual citizens to Israel or other countries.
Yeah. Choose.
Yeah.
It's not a game show. You've got to choose, right? I want to tell you about Juvenon, bloodflow7.com. You know, and what Juvenon offers is a safe, effective, fast-acting solution to getting older. I mean, that's literally what it is. Because what happens as you get older? Well, your stomach acid doesn't digest pills and tablets like it used to. So it's harder to absorb things from supplements that we take orally. What else happens? Well, I mean, we slow down. Blood flow is restricted for whatever reason. Our clarity seems to kind of slip through our fingers. You can walk into the room and be like, why am I here again? I do it all the time, right? And then you're outside and you're doing stuff that you normally do. And you're like, God, I am so exhausted. If you're a man, you've got the man boobs going, you're a little squishy, you've got no stamina. You're like, I know I should go to the gym, but all I want to do is nap. You don't have to do that. Bloodflow7.com fixes that. It honest to God does. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Women, get it. Men, get the formula that's called Alpha Gold Male. Look for the bundle, his and hers. You want to do something that's good for you this spring? Get you and your spouse on bloodflow7.com. And then write down my email and send me a message, wendybellradio@gmail.com, and tell me how much you freaking love me. I've not had one single person get in touch with me and be like, that Blood Flow 7, you said it was great. I thought it was a disappointment. Not one. I got one that was sort of like, I thought you kind of lied to me a little bit. But it took my wife 3 weeks for it to hit. And now she's running around like buzzing like a bee, and she's 70. And I was like, I'm telling you, bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Everything there is 30% off. I love it. I'm a little
Randy.
A little warm.
Sassy.
What'd you say?
Or what? You're a little sassy or
No.
Randy or
I'm a little
power
hot.
surge-ish.
Little warm. You had a little bit of a power surge yesterday, you said. Aren't they terribly uncomfortable? When you
I
just
don't
get
know
this
if it was
weird...
a power surge or what it was.
I would say not, because you're not in menopause. But...
Right. I'm in menopause.
Menopause. Art.
But like all this, it was, if that's what you go through,
Very uncomfortable.
it was all of the sudden extremely hot. All of a sudden, whatever. Whatever it is. God. Lightheaded, queasy. I mean, I literally...
You're
so when that kind of
pregnant.
happens, I push the coffee table away and I lay on the couch.
Right. Well, you're also epileptic.
Yeah. So like I just
So-
take extra precautions.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not going to seize and fall into a table.
Yeah.
right.
I broke a toe on a coffee table. And I think I broke Jolene's coffee table when it happened. You'll have it.
Huh?
It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Health Revolution. info.healthrevolution.net.
I've used
I'm
Tom
telling-
before.
Can you imagine getting insurance that you need without all of the stupid restrictions? Right? All right, so go ahead. I interrupted you.
No. I'm just saying I've used them before as people are great. Like they make it so easy. They're like, what do you want? Here's what I need. You know, they're like, here are your options. I watch people go through that kind of stuff and they tell me about it. And I'm like, I've said multiple times, here's who I use.
Yeah.
You know, and
Just don't
I mean,
lie
I was
to
on the
me.
phone with a woman. I can't even tell you her name. She was just like, here's boo, 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 boo.
The thing I like about Tom, he legitimately wants to just help you. Are they going to make some kind of money off of this? Of course they will. But it's $300 a month for Michael to get health insurance.
Well, he came on. This tells you what type of guy he is. So he has a business, right? He came on for a little over an hour with me to explain all this stuff to us back when open enrollment was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And before we went on, he's like, hey, don't mention my business. I just want this to be informational. And I'm like, well, I don't want to get emails, so I'm going to mention it. They can go back and find it. But he's like, well, please don't mention it. This isn't about business. It's about education. I thought it was great.
Who does that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I like that we have people that we can tap into.
Wendy, I'm 71 years old, started taking Blood Flow 7 a few months ago.
Uh-oh.
It has changed my life. People
Wow.
think I'm the Energizer Bunny. I'm telling you. I take it every day. Every day. Love it. Love it. Love it.
It's just when she doesn't take it.
I do. I hate feeling sluggish. I hate being at the gym and being like, right? I want to be like, let's go. Let's do 30 pounds.
And then you complain about that.
Yeah, because I have this strained abdominal muscle. It's really aggravated. It's concerning to me. So
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
Donald Trump has been indicted by a grand jury in New York for his alleged hush money payment.
A grand jury indicted former President Donald Trump on state charges stemming from his efforts to overturn Joe Biden's victory.
Breaking news, the federal indictment against Donald Trump, all related to his handling of classified documents after leaving office.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
And then I take in this White House, we're going to fight like hell, I'll tell you right now.
It's about how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. And you know, one of the frustrations about being or with being awake, you're going to hear from Chamath Palihapitiya at the end of today's program. And I hope you hang for it, because the billionaire from Silicon Valley talks about the moment he was red-pilled, the moment he went from being a card-carrying monster donor to the Democrat Party, the minute it all changed. Whatever that minute was for you, it's hard now when you're no longer willfully blind to see what's going on. It's hard to see people and to not be disgusted by their zeal to cheat or to swindle, to steal from you, to rob you of your vote. Yesterday in the Oval Office, something very interesting. President Trump signed an executive order that I find very curious, that my governor, Josh Shapiro, here in Pennsylvania, tweeted out and said this about: President Trump can sign whatever the hell he wants to, but it won't change the Constitution. The authority to set our election rules belongs to the states. And as governor, I will protect your right to vote. That includes your right to vote by mail. Well, Josh, you're a drive-by governor, because what you just said is dumb, first of all, and it's wrong. And if you had one, I don't know, authentic bone in your body, you wouldn't have written that. The president is signing an executive order making it harder to people to cheat by mail. So I'm going to read you a little bit of this article before. I want you to hear Will Scharf. He is the secretary, basically the White House secretary, and he's the guy who reads what's in the bill. The guy is amazing. He's sort of like on the level of the kind of savant-y, like Stephen Miller, the national treasure, because he can just be like, blah, 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 and repeat, or just say stuff that's in the thing, and it's beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, I'll sign that. So this is what he signed. Trump signs order to verify mail-in ballots used by eligible voters. He's not saying we're not going to allow you to vote by mail. He's saying we're going to do it in a way where people cannot cheat. I'm all for that. Trump on Tuesday signed an executive order focused on election integrity. including a measure to ensure that mail-in ballots are sent to eligible voters and returned by them, right? There you go. There's trash on the side of the highway. We're going to go pick it up. Okay, I voted for that. Thank you very much. Not like, oh, there's trash on the high. It would be nice if we could go pick it up, but it seems like it's a really long job and it's so hard and we can't get bags. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get that stuff to the dump and where are the people who are going to do it. Trump is like, just pick up the damn trash. Get it done. That's what he's doing with this. Yeah. We understand that you want to vote by mail. Okay. We're going to come up with a way to safeguard it. Let's listen to what he said. I want you to hear 2 audio sound bites because if Josh Shapiro had thought at all and said anything honest about what happened yesterday in the Oval Office, he wouldn't have tweeted that stupid comment out. Here is Will Scharf explaining what this executive order is all about. Listen.
Mr. President, as you said, you have in front of you an executive order that deals with a number of issues relating to election integrity. As you've consistently identified, 2 of the biggest problems we have with election integrity in this country are 1, inaccurate voter rolls that allow ineligible people to vote in various federal and state elections all over the country. And then secondarily, you've consistently identified that vote by mail in this country has become rife with fraud. People returning ballots who aren't eligible to return ballots being sent to people who aren't confirmed to be eligible voters. So what this executive order is going to do is 1, we're going to take federal data. We're going to ensure that each state's election officials are provided with a comprehensive view of who the eligible voters in their jurisdiction actually are, allowing them to properly verify that everybody voting in their elections is legally able to vote. And then it orders the Postmaster General, the U.S. Postal Service, to take bold new measures to verify that ballots both being sent to people are being sent to people who are eligible to vote, and then that ballots being returned are being properly returned by eligible voters only. And we believe that combined, the measures in this executive order will help secure elections in the future and ensure that the many abuses of our election system in the past aren't repeated in future elections.
Okay, I love him. What did you just hear that sounded controversial to you? The Postmaster General is going to play a role. Well, the dude should, right? They lost, what, $10 billion last year? I mean, maybe the United States Postal Service can do one of something that works. And I'm not criticizing the employees. It is what it is. The system is broken. It's intended to be that way. But this order says we're going to do this so that if you do want to vote by mail, we know who you are. Not any of these things that happened in my state in 2020. Josh Shapiro, remember that? Because I do. There were 1.7 million mail-in ballots that were sent out, and there were 2.5 million that were returned. That's 800,000 votes that seem really shady to me. But, that's just me. And then you've got Howard Lutnick, right? Commerce Secretary. What a badass. This guy doesn't need to be there. He's not there getting rich. He's not there putting in slave hours because it's fun. These people signed up for what the president asked him to, literally in blood. I'll get the job done, Mr. President. We'll do it under budget and faster than pace. This is Howard Lutnick saying, you know what? This is very exciting. Each ballot will come in an envelope that has its own unique barcode. Now, the ballot won't be barcoded, but the envelope will be. Well, let's listen in.
So the fundamentals of our democracy are built on voter integrity, right? We all need it. You've said it time and time again. It's a total agreement amongst everybody. So here's the idea. The states, right, run these elections. They will, if they want to use the U.S. mail, the U.S. Postal Service, they're going to get a code, a barcode from the U.S. Postal Service, and they're going to put that on the envelope, and we will have one envelope per vote. None of this time where we have no idea, there's no observers to mail, there's no envelopes, there's no certainty. That's all going to go away, and what the president is doing today is he's going to make sure that mail-in ballots are safe, secure, and accurate, and will have a clear distinction. If you voted by mail, you will have it on the envelope. Obviously not on the ballot, but on the envelope. So we will know 1 million mail-in ballots There'll be 1 million envelopes, and you'll be able to know exactly, correctly, that citizens voted.
Oh, Josh Shapiro, you're the governor of Pennsylvania. I sure hope you're paying attention, sir, because your idiotic tweets indicate to me that you don't, and that's concerning. Because I live in a commonwealth, sir, that you live in as well with 12.8 million people. And it's corrupt as stones. And everybody knows it. And the people who refuse to admit it are either willfully blind or they're corrupt. Which one are you, sir, respectfully? Howard Lutnick just said, states run the elections. So if states want to mail out ballots, that's great. We will provide them with the necessary materials based on the voter rolls that we have. And then this brings up a broader question of why are 29 states not complying with the USDA asking for their voter rolls? Why? Why have they not given that information over? The same reason they're fighting on the steps of the Supreme Court right now. They need, Democrats do, the deep state does, all the help they can get. And if you're going to secure mail-in ballots so that every single one has its own unique watermark, barcode, QR code, so it's not some mystery that you're not sending in 15 of the same ballots, all of which get counted. Hell yeah, they're freaking out on the left. And yet this president is saying, hey, we're going to do it through the Postal Service. Federal government runs the Postal Service. Poorly, yes, but we're going to use that now. States have to go through the federal government to get the information they need for their elections. So game on, Josh. What do you have to say now? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I do want to talk about this. So much for justice being blind. It's not. Not when you have activist judges, Obama Biden judges, who will do anything to stop Trump. Is that justice or is that derangement? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Okay. Texas Bullion Exchange. So I brought in gold. I have brought in silver. I've brought in a brick of silver. I know. It's different than a bar. It's bigger and fabulous. But I know that a lot of people out there, a lot of you out there are like, look, gas prices are up. Things are still expensive. I'm super tenuous about how I'm spending my money. I get it. I get it. However, if you have an IRA, you can get gold in it. You can get silver in it. You can get platinum and palladium. And oftentimes you don't have to spend a dime. You roll it into what you have. This is what they help you with. In fact, in my Texas Bullion Exchange handy dandy materials, oh, look at that. Right front and center, the Gold IRA Guide. And it says this, why more Americans are adding physical gold and silver to their retirement plans and how to do it the right way. Call 855-927-5557. I think this is one of the most important things that we can do. And if you don't have $40,000 that you're sitting on, you're like, I'm going to go buy some silver and gold, honey. Great. You've probably been saving for the future. And if you have an IRA, well, I think you need to call 855-927-5557. WendyLovesGold.com. WendyLovesGold.com. I believe in this company to the degree that I've also invested in them. And I wouldn't do that and encourage you to do that if it wasn't the real deal. WendyLovesGold.com.
So what did you bring in today?
What did I bring in today?
Did you bring anything in today?
I don't know. Why?
Oh, no reason.
No.
I was going to say elevators out.
Oh, what is going on with this? If I did the show like this, would that be distracting?
For you, because you'd be playing with it.
I would. It's such a nice curl. Hold on.
Whoa.
Tulip Blooms, by the way, you guys, has been rocking and rolling. I'm going to give you a hit in the commercial break.
We are in a commercial break.
I was going to say in the big break. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I don't spend money usually on skincare products like massage oil. Like, really? Until they send me it. And I put it on my hands and I was like, all right. And then after about 5 minutes, it absorbed in my skin and my hands were soft all day. I get super dry cuticles. They dry, they crack and break and rip and bleed, and it hurts like not anymore. Look, they didn't make the velour massaging oil with soothing essential oils from Tulip Blooms just 'cause. Pamper yourself. Pamper somebody you love. Get 10% off. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy, or buy it for you. They've got body butter. They've got bath things, bath bombs. They've got lotions and oils. If you go down to the Soothe essential oil, this velour massaging oil, 10% off, Wendy. You're welcome.
It's for guys, too.
It is for guys, too. Everybody loves being soft. I don't know if I can describe how I feel about the January 6ers who went through so much hell because the Democrats needed a whipping boy, smokescreen, ancillary storyline to obfuscate from their own theft of the 2020 election. That's not my opinion. I'm just going to say that's fact. I live in the real world. This is Realville. And in Realville, we tell the truth. That was a stolen election. January 6th was a setup. And the defendants who got ensnarled in one of the darkest stains in American history, they didn't get fair trials. Many of them had exculpatory evidence withheld from their attorneys. How do you defend yourself against a system that is rigged to screw you just because you love America and voted for President Trump? That's why President Trump granted all of those pardons. He understands what the lawfare is all about. And so he said yesterday in the Oval Office, he's talking about the liberal SCOTUS justices who always rule against him. And he's like, that's not how it's supposed to go. Regardless of your thought process, your background, how you love people, what you look like, how much money you make, or your politics, when you put on that robe, your justice is what matters. It is not about bias. It is about justice. And it's supposed to be blind. Here's the president.
The Democrats never fail at one thing. When Barack Hussein Obama or when Biden appoints somebody, they go along that line. You can have the greatest case in history. And almost, I guess I have to say almost, maybe I don't have to say it, almost without fail, those people, 4 of them, sometimes 5 of them, but 4 of them will vote against you. You don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. And that's not what the court system is. Now, the Republican appointees tend to go, and this has been long before me. This has been for many years. Some people would call it stupidity. Some people would call it disloyal. Some people would say they're right in doing it. And I don't mind being right, but the other side almost never does it. Almost. I think you could find maybe a couple of instances. Almost never does. When a Democrat appoints a judge, and I'm talking about judges, not just justices, you go before some of these Democrat judges in Washington, D.C., and you don't have a chance. That's why I gave pardons to hundreds of people that were so badly treated, having to do with J6.
And right on cue yesterday, 2 stories you need to know about. This one, an Obama-appointed judge blocking Trump from defunding NPR and PBS over their far-left politics. Really? Do you guys think your taxpayer dollars should fund, quote-unquote, news organizations whose job is to hate Trump and spread left-leaning propaganda consistently? I don't. Neither does the president. But a judge says, yeah, sorry. Tuesday saw a second instance of a judicial coup. We'll tell you the first one coming up. As a federal judge has ruled that President Donald Trump is not allowed to strip NPR and PBS of their federal funding. Really? The latest decision coming from U.S. District Court Judge Randolph Moss, an appointee of Obama. Moss ruled against the Trump administration, citing the First Amendment. Say what? He claims that the administration is unable to strip on the basis of their overtly left-wing political agenda. It's a ridiculous ruling by an activist judge attempting to undermine the law, said White House Deputy Secretary Abigail Jackson. NPR and PBS have no right to receive taxpayer funds, and Congress already voted to defund them. The Trump administration looks forward to ultimate victory in the case. Slogging down the process, right? And then there's this one about the ballroom. This was the other one. Federal judge orders Trump administration to halt construction on the privately funded White House ballroom. Right? In the ballroom case, the judge said we have to, this is what Trump wrote. The judge said we have to get congressional approval. He's wrong. Congressional approval has never been given on anything in these circumstances, big or small, having to do with the construction at the White House. In this case, even less so, because the ballroom is being built with private donations, no federal taxpayer money here, signed President Donald J. Trump, right? The judge said Congress has to approve the construction project. It is obstructionist justice. It is anything to resist, anything to bog down, anything to force the administration to run through oatmeal or forever loop on that hamster wheel. It is the garbage on the side of the road that never gets picked up, right? And you're just supposed to suck it up and be okay with it. Sorry, I'm not. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, in advance of tonight's presidential address, we're going to recall the consistency of one message, this idea from the president that Iran will never, ever be able to have a nuclear weapon. Marco Rubio. Oh, boy. He's a treasure, too, next. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Do you have to go? Okay, I'll be right back.
Hopefully we can get that computer ordered and it can get here ASAP. I have Michael looking into it because he streams all the time. And right now we just have the basic computer. I think we've had it for 3 or 4 years and it can't handle. It's not fast enough anymore. Let's put it that way. All right. Did we hit 2,000 rumbles yet? Finally. Oh, someone else threw money. AV8 or AH64. Happy birthday on Saturday, Wendy. Also wanted to mention my friend Jim Quinn, who was the best. I'm sure you knew him. I'm pretty sure Wendy didn't know him. I mean, I knew of him. I know people that worked with him. I've worked with people who work with him, but he was solid. He was ahead of the game too. We actually replaced on one of our radio stations his show. They used to run his show, and obviously he passed.
Hello.
So much for my hit. Thanks, appreciate it.
Oh, sorry.
Wow. We better ration this. It is for dudes.
I know the owner. I'm telling you
This
what.
is also for dudes. I'm just telling you guys.
It is all
if you
that.
want to get this for your wife.
Wow.
And then you can massage it on
Into your
wife.
feet.
On your
Be like,
feet, yeah.
just a
You
minute,
want to use it on your
sweetheart.
feet. It's fantastic.
Hold on, let me put this on my feet and put some socks on.
Kate is writing you a testimonial.
Oh, is she?
Yes. Because she used it and the foot massager at the same time.
I know, right? It's stupid.
I know.
It's just stupid.
Told her if she writes a testimonial
That you might get some more.
no.
Oh.
That she can have a squirt again for her feet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I gotta ration that out, you know?
All right.
Just can't be giving it away. It's
there we go.
wow.
Okay, GLP-1 Gold. I know everybody is anxious to lose weight, and there are many ways you can do it. The good old sit up in a salad strategy often works. But if you have a really hard time triggering weight loss, and you're like, my gosh, you plateau, you feel like nothing's moving, I want to tell you that this will help you. And this will help you in a slower, though just as effective way as the shots. GLP-1 Gold. This is bloodflow7.com/Wendy. This is a whole different product I want to tell you about. This is what talks to your brain, to talk to your belly, to not eat as much. This is what kills your appetite. This is a dietary supplement that allows you to lose weight, that allows you not to be completely managed by cravings. And trust me, I got called to the pistachio bag yesterday. Love me some pistachios. This is a game changer for so many people. And you'd think, okay, hundreds of dollars a month for these shots. My gosh, I don't have the money. Yeah, that's not this. That's not what this is going to cost you. $35, $30 a month. I know. It sounds ridiculous, but it's not.
What I didn't like about the shots is you feel.
You took one.
I did a week, and it was just. I just didn't. It makes you like queasy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Why do I want to do this?
Yeah. My mother-in-law is diabetic and needs to take the shots.
Right.
And they just, how she lost weight. Yeah, that's not the reason why she was doing it. But she's like, you lose that joy of eating, because you're just like, ugh. If I feel like I'm going to barf, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I literally, I would do anything other than feel that way. It's just a terrible way to live.
How many pistachios did you have?
GLP-1 Gold from Juvenon, bloodflow7.com.
That means a lot.
No, I don't.
Did you have a beer with them?
I did.
Out of your new beer glass?
I did. Brock knows how to buy me the right stuff for my birth. He's a good one. He's a good egg. I'll keep him for a while.
That glass is fantastic.
It is really nice. I will say that.
I used it yesterday. I'll need it today, too.
You'll need it today?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Meeting after.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Brock's got a little meeting with Rumble afterwards. lived in an abusive environment, and there's a lot of different kinds of abuse. There's emotional abuse, there's physical abuse, there's sexual abuse. There's a lot of different kinds. If you've ever lived with an abuser, you know that one of the hardest things about life is the unpredictability, the inconsistency. Who's going to be the person who walks in the door today? Is it going to be someone who's going to fly off the handle and hurt me? Is this somebody who's okay and it's that pins and needles, tiptoeing on eggshells before you can extract yourself from a bad situation that I think a lot of people feel? Unpredictability is a very unsettling thing. There's something extraordinarily comforting and predictable about consistency. It allows us to gauge when things are even slightly off before the whole system goes haywire. But it also involves or a topic or a program. And he expects them to do it to the best of their ability, the way he would, and then get back in touch with them under budget and ahead of schedule. That is his shtick. And his consistency on Iran has been, I think, very comforting. There was nothing that was haywire, weird, no plan. It's all scattershot. That's not at all what this president's all about. And when the left tells you that's the story, well, you know that you're being blatantly lied to. I want you to hear Marco Rubio. He is, I just saw some recent polling. J.D. Vance apparently still the runaway candidate for 2028. But Marco Rubio is now in the 30% range. Prospective voters saying, I think he would be a phenomenal freaking president. The way this former senator has handled himself, it's truly something. And he said some stuff yesterday that I wanted you to hear about. I wanted you to hear what he said because as Trump has been consistent about Iran never having a nuclear weapon, Marco Rubio, as the statesman who has to espouse this president's agenda to the world, has been extraordinarily clear. It is a plan. And he schooled George Stephanopoulos yesterday as that little Ipe was trying to take umbrage with one of something. And he's like, look, George, you're obviously not listening to us because we've been very consistent about what's going on. Just 4 points, right? I want you to hear him yesterday. He's on, I believe, with Fox. And he's got this he's just got some really interesting things he says. He says, look, this president's objective has been clear. It's always been clear. And it was clear dated back to June of 2015 when he came down that escalator. Here's Marco Rubio.
This is a regime that is led by radical Shia clerics, by people who believe that it is their calling. I know this sounds fantastical, but it's absolutely true. This is a regime led by people who believe that it is their calling and their purpose in life to usher in the end of the world. These people want nuclear weapons. Why do we know that? Because they are assembling all the things you need for nuclear weapons. They're assembling long-range rockets that can eventually reach the United States, can already range Europe. We saw them demonstrate 2 of them last week, despite denying that they had them. They enriched uranium to 60%. As you pointed out a moment ago, from 60 to 90%, which is what you need for a bomb, takes 12 to 14 days. They bragged about still having that. They demand the right to enrich, which is how you get from 60 to 90%. They're the leading sponsor of terrorism, not in the region, in the world. They can never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon, which is what President Trump made very clear from the very first day of his presidency, in fact, from the very first day of his candidacy. When he came down that escalator in 2015, he talked about this. He's actually been talking about the threat of Iran before he was even a political candidate. And as president, he was not going to allow Iran to pose a threat to Americans now or future generations of Americans.
No surprises. You don't have to worry about when he walks in your door, who you're going to get. Is this going to be crazy Trump? Is this going to be abusive Trump? No, this is consistent. And why is it that the media have never reported that? Did you guys know that to go from 30% to 60%, which you need to make a weapon, apparently, that it takes 12 days, 14 days? Literally, did you hear anything about that from the media? Have you heard anybody on the left tell you a real story about how close Iran was? No. And so this administration goes out with great spokespeople and the Secretary of State to tell you what's going on. You don't have to listen to the media. Maybe that's why nobody's paying attention to them anymore. So weird. Audio soundbite number 2, Marco Rubio continues. He's like, look, our objectives have been clear from day one, and we've almost met all of them, which means it's soon going to be time for us to go. That's the way this works. We're not here to put in our own puppet president. We're not here for regime change. It was inevitable because we killed everybody, but we're not the ones cherry picking the leader. That's not our purview. Now, that's contrary to what the left wants you to believe, because dictators and kings would want to install people of their own choosing, right? Here's Marco Rubio, audio soundbite 2.
So we had to act, and with very clear purpose. We are going to destroy their Air Force. We have largely done that. We were going to destroy their Navy, which we have largely achieved that. We were going to destroy a significant percentage of their missile launchers. We are well on our way to achieving that. And we were going to wipe out their defense industrial base, meaning the factories that make the drones and the missiles. We are on our way to doing that. Those were our 4 objectives, because those are the 4 things they were going to hide behind to then develop a nuclear weapon and threaten the world if they tried to do anything about it. That was not going to happen under President Trump. We are well on our way. We are on or ahead of schedule on each of those 4 objectives, and we can see the finish line. It's not today, it's not tomorrow, but it is coming. We are going to get to the point where our military will have achieved all of its objectives in this mission, and they're doing so with extraordinary efficiency, something that I think will go down in history as one of the best run tactical military operations in modern times.
Well, there you go. Do you have any questions? Because he just told you, and this is the same thing that they've been telling us for days, for weeks. This is not complicated. We had to act. Going from 60 to 90%, somebody corrected me on the stream. Thank you for so doing. Giving this kind of a mindset, these radical Shia clerics who don't care who they kill because the mission is more important than everything else, right? We needed to completely destroy that. Does everybody understand? Yes, we do. Not the left, though. Now, Rubio says this, and he's like, look, we have a president who wants diplomacy. He wants to negotiate. He wants to make deals. He doesn't want to bomb people. He doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't want to destroy the landscape of a country for the next generation or 2. But when you get jerked around as much as the Iranian regime has jerked us around, how much they jerked around Biden when he was in his hyperbaric chamber, right? We're not going to do that. This president doesn't do that.
Remember, anytime you hear Iran, you had an image a moment ago of this guy, Arachi, their foreign minister. This guy is a liar. This guy was on television like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, denying that Iran had any missiles that could go beyond a certain limitation. And then they fired 2 of them. Now, we don't think they have many of them, but they are soon to have many of them. We've destroyed and are destroying the factories to make those things. Those things, the ones they launched the other day, could reach well into Europe. And actually, they had fired it on Diego Garcia. One of them failed. One of them was shot down. But they fired him at Diego Garcia, which is really far away. So they were moving towards eventually having a missile that could reach the continental United States. That's what they were aiming to do. They were aiming to become the next North Korea, except not a North Korea run by, a regime that, is troublesome and hard to understand, but an Iran run by radical Shia clerics with intercontinental missiles that could reach the mainland of the United States eventually. That's what they were going towards. That's what they would have ultimately achieved had President Trump not taken these steps that he's taken.
So now you've listened to 3 audio sound bites for about 4 minutes, and you've heard 1, this has always been the strategy. 2, we had objectives. 3, we've met those objectives. 4, Iran is a threat, right? What else do you need to know? Well, here's one to wrap it up. This president wants peace. He wants peace, but he's not a fool, and he doesn't like to be trifled with. You don't become the man behind the brand, right? And the brand now, USA, by allowing other countries to jerk you around.
We can't ignore that for 47 years they've avoided and rejected any effort to negotiate. That doesn't mean we're going to stop trying. President Trump always would rather have negotiations than war. And he will always, we gave him 60 days early last year. We gave him additional time to negotiate after Midnight Hammer again earlier this year. But each and every time those things have proved fruitless. But we're going to keep trying. There are messages being exchanged. There are talks going on. There is the potential for direct meeting at some point. We're always going to be open for that. But what President Trump is not going to allow is he's not going to allow fake negotiations to be used as a delay tactic, to buy more time, to buy themselves space. That's what he's not going to allow. You know, the Biden administration spent 4 years trying to resurrect the Obama nuclear deal with Iran. They spent 4 years trying to talk to the Iranians, and they strung them along for 4 years, and I think they thought they could string this administration along for 4 years, but they're not going to string along President Trump.
Think about how huge it is that you and I showed up in November of 2024, because this president has been a grenade. He's blown up everything. The grift of USAID, of Act Blue, all of the stuff that Doge has uncovered. He's blown up all of these relations with NATO and the United Nations and Europe, saying, you know what? How about y'all do one of something that benefits us? Because you never do. He's blown up the elections, saying, you know what? We believe you could do certain things, but you ought not be able to cheat. And he's blowing up their ability to breed in perpetuity future Democrat voters. No wonder they hate that one man so very much. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's talk about Don Lemming. Oh, Don. Don apparently didn't hear from the DNC that they were looking for a white, straight Christian dude to put out as president. Don says, I'm here. I'm ready. Oh, boy. Next on the Wendy Bell radio program. Cannot make it up. Not doable. All right, collagen peptides. I've been telling you about taking collagen peptides. One of the cheapest, most intelligent health decisions you can make is infusing your diet with some collagen. When I started hearing about collagen, it was probably back in the 80s, and women were putting collagen in their lips and walking around like this, and you're like, ugh. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the protein, most abundant protein in your body. And yes, just like everything else, it starts dissipating after the age of 50. Super duper. But you can change that, and you can infuse a shot of it back into your life. And that's what I've been doing. Brock has been doing it too. We've been taking collagen peptides from Native Path, getnativepath.com/Wendy. And this is great because these are the little take and put in your purse or what have you when you're drinking something. Pour this in, and it says it right on here. It says support for bones and joints, your skin, your hair, your nails, and your gut, of all the things that you want working together, that you want beautiful. You want good-looking skin if you're a man or you're a woman. You want shiny hair, healthy hair. You want strong fingernails. You want bones that are not prone to osteoporosis. You want to have cartilage that isn't all crackly and crepitous like that, right? You want skin that doesn't have all of the creepy, weird, right? Collagen peptides. And I love getnativepath.com/Wendy. Up to 45% off right now. Literally, throw my name in there. You'll see it. They're just wonderful, and they're geeked for you to try their products. Geeked. Collagen peptides. Getnativepath.com/Wendy. It's awkwardly quiet, isn't it? I know.
Looking for something.
You're looking for something.
Yeah.
There's so many things I could say there.
I need the photos of the cartoons. Do you still have those?
Yeah. Let me get into my email.
See, I'm always working.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say mm-hmm?
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
I've literally been rubbing my hands for 20 minutes. I'm so disappointed in Amy Coney Barrett. I remember watching her confirmation hearing and be like, man, this lady's impressive. But she's done nothing.
Mm-mm. I don't really get her. Like, what's the deal? Is she just one of these, I'm more worried about what people think about me than doing my job. Like, I'm staunchly screw you and what you think about me. Right? I mean, I want you to like me. I want you to think I'm the greatest thing. I want you to believe I'm fabulous. I want all of that. But if you don't, it's like, okay.
It's just like,
she seems like somebody
this
either
whole,
got
like,
to her or
it will be a mess if we did. That's not your purview. That
I have to sneeze.
Bless.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So apparently, according to Axios yesterday, and if Axios is saying it, it must be true. Apparently, the DNC has come to Jesus, and they realize that trotting out everything under the sun for the sake of box checking doesn't equal a good candidate for president of the United States. So they're looking at all of the people like, look, I get it. I get that there are optics, that you got to make sure that you're vetted. You got to make sure people aren't dirtbags, that they're not criminals. But how's that worked for us in past elections? Right. That's what I thought. So anyway, the DNC is like, all right, we don't need, anything other than a white, straight, Christian male. That is who we need. And his name is not Gavin Newsom. So who picks up the call? And he's like, yes, I'll run. Don Lemon. Yes, Don Lemon, formerly of CNN fame, but now just a jerk who barges in on church services under the First Amendment protections. He teases a possible run for president, claims he'd be, quote, a lot better than Donald Trump. Really? What has Don Lemon ever done that has made you say, now that's a fine, fine human being? That man's reporting is just incredible. Yes, that. Nothing. No. He's a gay guy, right? Who uses his gayness as some kind of a victim card, the same way he uses his melanin for the same, right? And, we're also disenfranchised. Please. There's never been a better time to be a box-checking human being in the United States of America. And you as president, sir, is a joke. Well, let's read it to you. It's from the New York Post. See what you think. Frequently fired journalist. Well, I guess I can associate with that. Hey, that looks a lot like me. Frequently fired journalist Don Lemon now believes he has the juice to become president. The disgraced and seemingly delusional ex-CNN anchor weighed the potential political run as he boasted he could do a better job running the country than President Trump. I think I could be president of the United States, the 59-year-old declared on the Pod Save America podcast on Sunday. Do I think about it? Yes. Could it happen? Yeah, it could happen. If the opportunity presented itself, the right opportunity presented itself. Look, if I wanted to, I know people are going to think I'm crazy, he continued. I could definitely run this country better than Donald Trump. Don, I think we should start small. Start with running an effective podcast, because right now I'm kicking your ass, okay? And you were on CNN. You had a national audience, and you pooed in their mouths. You finger wagged during George Floyd. You mocked people who wouldn't get a vaccine that basically treated humanity like mice, lab rats, if you will, because, you know, if you took that, you were part of a clinical trial. Don Lemon, who believes storming into a church while people are praying is good journalism. Really? I know you're dying, Barack Obama.
I'm just going to say that because it is today, a lot of you probably think this is an April Fool's joke. It is not.
It is not.
Don is delirious.
Don Lemon, the delirious, flailing TV anchor who said he had no immediate plan to seek office, went on to compare himself to former President Barack Obama and his political rise. Barack Obama was a manufactured shiny metal object. Barack Obama had no business being president of the United States. Barack Obama was a senator for 1,440 days. Barack Obama, the worst president in American history. Joe Biden was just the third phase of it. That's all. I don't really think we can blame Joe. Joe didn't know. Joe still doesn't know. Joe didn't know where he was, ladies and gentlemen. Joe needed marks on the ground. He needed cheat sheets. He needed to know who freaking Hillary Clinton was when he was giving her and her coiffed due the Presidential Medal of Suck. Right? Oh, right. Joe didn't know. Don Lemon knows crap. I love it. Did anybody think Barack Obama, as he says, this guy with a funny name from a mixed background, did anyone ever think that he would be president? That he had that aspiration? Well, I don't have an aspiration to become president, but I do think that I could run this country a lot better than Donald Trump. Look, why can't I think about running for office? Why can't I think about being president of the United States when I look at what we have? Oh, yeah, I hear you, Don. You know, the closed border, the deportation of all sorts of people, 80,000 visas revoked from people in this country who've gone on to other countries and have broken their laws, right? Dismantling of the Department of Education so maybe we could start making America's students great again instead of indoctrinating them with all kinds of LGBT nonsense. Right. President Lemon.
Who would be his running mate?
Oh my gosh. Now that's something to chew on in the live chat. WendyBellRadio.com. Back after this with hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell Radio program. Who would? I don't know. See,
you gotta love. Remember when Chris Cuomo said how him and Dawn are tight, and it's kind of funny. He's never on Chris's show. He could run the country. Can't run a podcast. He could run a country. I think I would be a better president, and I don't think I should be anywhere near the Oval Office. Better president than Don Lemon.
This is very exciting for Kelly Morgan and Morgane's Fitness. They're celebrating 14 years of Morgane's Fitness, and they have an anniversary event. If you're in the area, Saturday, April 18th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m., free open gym, bring a friend for free, vendors and food trucks, new member specials. If you live in Somerset or Cambria counties, I don't know why you wouldn't want to go. So this is the Richland Morgane's Fitness location. MORGAINZ fitness.com, where people start looking like this and come out looking like that. Look at how freaking happy she is. She's happy because she's drinking some kind of a pina colada out of a, right? How you doing? That looks really good. Here she is, happy because she's got 6-pack abs. April 18th. Thanks, Kel. I will remember that. We will pump that. All right. Let's see. You know, I've not been asking for anything, but
Here comes.
I need rumbles and we need some comments. Need some comments. Who would be, all right, here's a question. Do you think Marco Rubio would agree to be J.D. Vance's vice president?
I think he would if he was asked. They seem pretty close.
Who do you guys want? What do you see as your own little dream team here? Do you have one? See, this stupid thing keeps, wrong way. I'll come back. Who do you guys think? Look, I don't want like some, I wouldn't want to put some chick in there just so you have a chick.
I'll tell you who I'd get.
Like put in somebody who's freaking talented. Huh?
For VP,
Mm-hmm.
Harriet Hagman.
Mm.
Or put her in your cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's give this woman.
She's pretty badass.
She is badass.
Yeah, she's badass.
She's a girlfriend.
I agree. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. If I see her on X, I stop and listen. Big fan.
How sad is what's going on with Christy Nome? Did you see that?
Yeah. Did you see someone put the thing of Marco Rubio sitting at the couch with the big
So apparently her husband
is gay.
is like cross-dressing and doing
Yeah.
weird stuff. Like, okay. But that's just unfortunate. Just families go through stuff, right? Are you doing it today still?
You have to push it up.
What time had you said? 4:30?
Yeah, push to 4.
All right. Get it done.
You don't-
5,000 people watching. Look.
You're not on it, are you?
No. There's no reason 3,000 of us can't get us over the mark. Right? So we've got 224. There is an hour to go. We need 760 people to hit this underneath the video box. That's all I'm asking you to do. That's all rumbling is all about. It is a dumb game. I wish we didn't have to play it, but it is what it is.
We're addicted to the leaderboard.
And in order for us to stay on the leaderboard, and we don't have help. Rumble puts a lot of these people who are ahead of us in the big box. They don't put us in the big box.
Mm-mm.
We get almost no love. It's all grassroots. It's all you. Everything we've done.
Literally. Literally everything we've done.
I don't think I can tell you enough how important you are and how much we appreciate you. So much.
I don't think we're getting any more coffee mugs in.
Why? Who's asking for that?
Someone asked earlier if we're getting more coffee mugs.
I don't think so. Do not go anywhere. 4,997 people.
Maybe closer to Christmas time. We'll get some made, but not right now.
Ultra says Rubio with Carrie Lake.
I'd like to see her as press secretary.
JD Vance, Stephen Miller, keep Marco Secretary of State. Vance is a plant, says Richter Scale. I've heard that from a lot of people.
I've heard that too.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Well, a lot might be a stretch, but I've heard that. Let's see.
You know, once again, in this next segment, it's the whole I would believe it if it were true, or if either way, I would not be shocked. You know, this next segment is, I kind of pushed for this morning.
They're putting Devory Darkins in the box. He's newish.
I don't know who that is. So
I love you back. Hard Knock News. Thanks, babe. I love you back. Is Rubio an anchor baby?
I don't believe so.
No.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I mean, I know he's a citizen. I know I think he might be.
That's a great question. We'll look into it. As long as you guys rumble. 2.33. Now we only need 670. See? Baby steps.
Look at that math.
I know.
Like that. That's not like you.
I took my focus and recall. Healthycell.com/Wendy. Just get the REM sleep. It's all you need. Swear to God. There's nothing better. Nothing.
Like a bull.
Sleep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell. Inspiring solutions to save America one show at a time. Are you ready to get on board?
They believe that they can destroy this bond that exists between you and Trump if they somehow make Trump look bad, make Trump look like a reprobate, embarrass you about Trump. They can't do it because you came before Trump. Desperately want Trump gone, and I know that they desperately want it codified, that Trump cannot run again, because make no mistake, they remain scared to death of you, and they can't separate you from Make America Great Again.
From sea to shining sea, 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell Radio Program is live. This is one of those segments, and you're like, what's going on? What you talking about, Willis? It feels like it's an April Fool's story. This weird story. Matt Gaetz sitting down with Benny Johnson and talking on his podcast about aliens. And that's not even the half of it. Before we get into what Matt Gaetz said yesterday, Brock and I were like, what? Your face kind of melted off.
Yeah, I kind of pushed for this. I was like, are you what?
Yeah.
And I thought it was an April Fool's. And then I'm like,
He pushed it, and I agree with him. I think it's something we need to talk about. Let's go back to the beginning here, or at least a beginning-ish. I want to read you this briefly from thelibertyline.com. Missing UFO researchers, murdered scientists, and a dark pattern nobody wants to acknowledge. The count of missing or dead UFO researchers and scientists with sensitive American information is now at 6. What? Once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. 6 is probably leaning closer to what should be considered a national emergency. The count of missing or dead UFO researchers and scientists with sensitive American information is now at 6. These are the 5 we knew about. Retired Major General Neil McCasland. It wasn't just any general. He oversaw the Air Force's $2.2 billion science and technology program at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. He oversaw the Air Force's $2.2 billion science and technology program at an Air Force base. He was considered one of the military's leading experts on UFOs, and he was named in the 2016 WikiLeaks emails as an advisor to Tom DeLonge when DeLonge was building his UFO disclosure organization to the STARS Academy. I don't know anything about that, but it's part of this article. On February 27th, he walked out of his home in New Mexico and vanished without a trace. He left behind his phone, his wearable devices, and his prescription glasses. Clothing was found near his home, and he's not been seen since. A man knew things. Where he is, nobody knows. Aerospace engineer Monica Jacinto Reza. She was the co-inventor of a rocket alloy called Mondaloy and the director of the materials processing group at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. She vanished while hiking in the Southwest in 2025, and her case remains unsolved. Reza worked directly with the program McCaslin's oversaw. Both figures from the same Air Force Research Laboratory, both gone during hiking trips in the Southwest, both without explanation. Then, within the same general window, 3 other scientists were killed. Nuno Loureiro, I totally botched that, 47 years old, director of the Plasma Science and Fusion Center at MIT. He was assassinated at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts, last December 15th. He was reportedly on the verge of a breakthrough in nuclear fusion that could have produced unlimited clean energy and ended fossil fuel dependence as we know it. Carl Grillmeyer, 67, a Caltech astrophysicist whose work contributed to the discovery of water on a distant planet and whose colleagues called potentially significant for identifying signs of life within 160 light years of Earth. He was shot and killed on his front porch at 6 a.m. on February 16th this year. And Jason Thomas, 45-year-old chemical biologist, whose research focused on developing new medicines, including potential cancer treatments, and who had active contracts with the Department of Defense through Novartis, was found dead near a lake in Wakefield, Massachusetts, March 17th. That was 5. And then there is a 6th. Melissa Cassius, 54. She was an administrative assistant at Los Alamos National Laboratory, the facility founded during the Manhattan Project that has been tied to nuclear weapons research ever since. Not been seen since June 26 of last year. Her family says she uncharacteristically decided to work from home that day, but she was last spotted miles from her house, walking alone without her wallet or phone or her keys. Both of her phones were later found at home, wiped completely clean after someone performed a factory reset on them. The timeline of her last day is strange in ways that are hard to explain. Dropped her husband, Mark, off at work, where he works as a superintendent at a school. Their daughter says the mom then stopped at her workplace to drop off a sandwich and told her she was heading home to grab her security badge she had forgotten, but she never showed up for work. Her supervisor confirmed she never worked from home that day either. And then she just evaporated, gone. No sight of her. Nothing. So, with that in our minds, let's listen to what Matt Gaetz, former congressman, said to Benny Johnson on his podcast yesterday. It's just wild. Let's let him describe it.
I think the most important information will be the biologics that are not human that have been discovered. And even some of the briefings that aren't classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Now, it's fun to watch the video because Benny Johnson, his face is slow, like eyeballs are melting out of his face, like that scene with the Ark, Raiders of the Lost Ark, right, with the Nazis. That's Benny Johnson's face right now. He's like, wait a minute. You had some guy in a U.S. military uniform come to your congressional office in Florida and tell you there is a program that's hooking up space aliens and human beings to create some kind of weird intergalactic race. And literally, Benny Johnson says exactly what you and I are thinking. What in the F is happening here? And here you go.
Interracial alien mating? What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
Yeah, I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army. Came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants.
What? Human beings abducted from war zones, and even people marching with those illegal alien caravans coming into America, just plucking people off, just boop, and away you go. And now you're going to be breeding with a space alien whose spacecraft has crashed on Earth. And when investigators go there, this is Men in Black, you guys. I mean, how many different, this is E.T., this could be Beetlejuice, this could be anything, right? And they go, they're like, wait, what's that spacecraft? And they don't just open it up and it's like beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, right? Like machines. There's biologics. That's, I guess, fancy science talk for some sign of life from another planet. And this whistleblower, apparently, Matt Gaetz says, wanted one thing very specific from the congressman.
Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened. And what he wanted was a group, members of Congress, to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at like 8 locations at one time. And so that never occurred.
What do you mean non-human biologics? Like this?
Well, that was the testimony of David Grush before the House Oversight Committee, which I joined. And the testimony was that in crashes of craft that had been recovered by the CIA and through a special program that the CIA had for crash recovery, that it wasn't just, the hard materials, it was also biologics, but that they couldn't identify a human source of those biologics.
Meanwhile, the count of missing or dead UFO researchers and scientists with sensitive information is now 6. But, well, I'm sure it's all just a wild coincidence. Nothing to see here. Didn't they say Epstein over on his nasty ranch in New Mexico, he was trying to create his own breed? What? I know, right? It's not an April Fool's joke either. When we get back on the Wendy Bell radio program, we got to talk about the hilarious case of Lindsey Graham going to Disney. And then people like laughing and making fun of him because it was super creepy and sus. And then he did something to try to make it better and it didn't work. Oh my gosh. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Right? Okay, so tell me what you think is going on. In the comment section, what do you guys think is going on after you hear then hit the thumbs up button? We're at 2.41. Guys, 90 of you can hit this. 90 of you can get us to 2.5. And then the last 500, that's just going to be the slog. But in the comment section underneath the video box, what's going on?
So I also read a story that they got weapons also from the intergalactic aliens, for lack of better words,
right,
and re-engineered, like figured out how they work. And once again, complete tinfoil maybe, but what did we hear about when they went to Venezuela? They had weapons that we had never seen
Stunned
before.
them. There were people who were like literally, like, it was like waves, electrical pulses where they were literally rattled and stunned.
I think we're way past just the probings. It's just nuts. Like you figure.
And then knocking off anybody who's on the cusp of the scientific exploration or discovery that will end chronic disease.
The med beds that they talk about.
We got off you. We can't have people healthy. What's next? Cats and dogs living together?
Big Pharma won't be able to run their commercials.
What? Stop.
Anthony Fauci might be out of a job. Oh, wait, he is. It's just crazy to think that they re-engineered or reverse engineered is what I'm looking for. These weapons, and then, connect the dots. If they have weapons that people have never seen before.
Are you guys, anybody out there? I mean, if Kristi Noem's husband is a cross-dressing gay dude who wears a prosthetic giant breast.
Hooters.
Like, I always wanted boobs, but if that's how they're going to be, I'll stay where I am. Like, if I can look at that and be like, yeah, I mean, I can see that. People are kinky and weird, like whatever.
I'll look at that and be like, yeah, but did you hear about the aliens?
Yeah, but what about?
I really don't care about
Jeffrey. Is Jeffrey Epstein trying to create his own intergalactic spawn?
How do you even mate them? Like,
by the way, what movies? What movies? Sci-fi movies are now out of reach.
Do they? I mean, I'm gonna ask what all you are all thinking. Is this like regular like relations, or is this
IVF?
Yeah. What is it?
It's like the new hip IVF. Have an alien.
Is some chick there going, oh, look at that alien? How you doing? And they having cocktails?
Oh, we've got to talk about Healthy Cell. Let me talk to you guys about Healthy Cell, REM sleep. Get the REM sleep. Look, if you don't fall asleep on your own, if you toss and turn, if stuff happens in your life and it twists you and you are up at night, I got to say, I was up at 1:30 this morning. I ultimately fell back asleep at 2:30, but I did not take the REM. The REM sleep, a gel pack, easily absorbed by the body. It is a revolutionary thing. Healthycell.com/Wendy. Get REM, get the focus and recall. It takes everything and sharpens you like this. So you're like, I can do that presentation. I can do that speech. I can write that paper. I can pay my taxes. I can do anything. And then at night, see ya, lights out. And you wake up comfortable and happy and relaxed. No matter how little you slept, shut up. I know. You love me. Healthycell.com/Wendy. Duh. I do love them. I do. Huh?
I believe it all.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it all. X-Files told me.
X-Files, thank you.
10 years ago, 20 years ago.
You guys chirp in the comment section and give me some movies that are all going to be applicable for us to reevaluate. I mean, E.T. And I had one of those E.T. dolls, Brock. I did. It was a cute little E.T.
Are you sure it was a doll and it wasn't real?
It was a cute little thing. Had a big finger, the big, pointer finger, index finger. And then it had a big red mark where his heart was. Oh.
Yeah, if you only knew.
Right? Everything that we think is beyond. Everything's back on the table. If we're doing intergalactic breeding with aliens, come on. I don't know what else we can say. I don't know what else. I can tell you that they're not going to be talking about this tonight on CNN, so you don't ever have to watch. This is just weird. Okay, so let's move along. I know. You guys, this is just such weird timing. The brutal case of what happened to poor Lindsey Graham. Revolver.news, one of my favorite sites. Lindsey Graham's attempt to distract from Disney scandal goes hilariously wrong. The American people are already furious, so the Senate slithered off into recess without getting the SAVE Act over the finish line, even though requiring proof of citizenship and voter ID, it's very few issues that actually has bipartisan rampant support across the country. Literally one of the few things we can agree on, and our elected officials they just bounced. I want to go on my Easter break. And if you're Lindsey Graham, I want to be around a bunch of children by myself at Disney. Creepy. DHS funding hanging in the air, yada, yada. Okay, so speaking of bums, Right on cue, Lindsey Graham was off to Orlando for a delightful vacation at Disney World. Yes, Disney. Wandering around Disney while Americans were still waiting for Washington to do bare minimum stuff on election integrity. Then the photos hit the internet, the memes went nuclear, and his little swamper field trip became one of the funniest cell phones in recent memory. So nothing says fighting for election integrity like being Lindsey Graham, and it's a picture of him. He's wearing like black loafers, long dress khakis, and a button down that looks too big and sweaty. Okay. And he's
And sweaty. That just makes it creepier.
like, and he's carrying around a baby toy. He's holding like some toy.
There's just nothing right about it.
It's so wrong. So the image immediately launched 1,000 memes and about 10,000 comments asking why a man his age was wandering Disney without a grand kid. And once the picture started circulating, Lindsey was cooked, right? It became one of these perfect online moments. I mean, it was just phenomenal. So then Lindsey, he goes out and he decides he's going to put up a picture. He's going to fight back. Oh, I'll show them. And he puts up a picture of himself shooting clay pigeons somewhere wearing a red ball cap, and he's got a shotgun, right? And he wrote, and this is the picture, and this is what the caption: spent some time breaking clays in Edgefield County today. Doesn't get much better than that. I'm sure he grabbed his crotch then and, hawked a loogie. I mean, like, whatever. Right?
And spit and had a cracked a beer.
Right? So it was so ridiculous. And then people took the picture of him holding the gun, acting like he was a manly man. And they made him a Cinderella's dress. And so here he is holding a pink rifle, wearing his very sweet Cinderella dress. Here's one where he's shooting with his monkey or his Mickey Mouse ears on, the Disney ears. Here he's shooting a big rainbow of like bubbles, right? Oh. And this is literally some of the responses to his stupid picture of him shooting a gun, acting like he's not weird, going to Disney, walking around with a baby toy by himself. These are some of the quips. Serious question. What is the next target audience you're trying to reach with this post? Do you honestly think there exists anyone who will see this who hasn't seen your Disney bubble wand picture? Dude, you were literally in Disney World holding a bubble fairy wand. Lindsey Graham just posted this trying to appear masculine after he was photographed alone at Disney World with a bubble wand, banging gays and shooting clays.
What did this remind you of?
Oh my gosh, please tell me.
Tim Wall's jazz hands.
Oh,
and then
that's right.
And then he goes out and shooting, can't load a gun.
I'm gonna go with Chuck, and we're gonna go grill some burgers next.
We're just regular people.
Banging gays and shooting clays. Can we get some confirmation about where the wand ended up, said somebody? This is giving Tampon Tim.
I think I know.
This is giving Tampon Tim vibes. And finally, Lindsey, stop it. It's 2026. We all know you're gay. I mean, who cares? But we do care when you're not doing your job, you jerk. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador, tells some babe with the United Nations to pound sand. It's brilliant. Next. How about Lindsey Graham was so out of touch with the hardworking American people? You're all frauds. Our politicians are narcissists who are being funded with taxpayer money. Then they go goof off instead of going to D.C. and working for the job that they're supposed to do. Of course. Yes. Oh my God, some of these pictures of a bubble wand.
It was creepy to be, let's be fair here. It was creepy to begin with.
Yes.
And I at least said it days ago. It was creepy to begin with.
Yeah.
But the bubble wand, you bringing up the sweaty shirt.
I think majority of people involved in our Congress are gay, deviant, drug abusing alcoholics. I could see that.
Yeah. We know what happens.
If you can have anal sex in a Senate conference
on
room,
Amy Klobuchar's desk.
And they were pissed. Nancy Pelosi was pissed that somebody put their feet up on her desk. Right? It was the QAnon shaman.
Yeah.
And he went to prison. Let me tell you guys about the healthy fat. Dr. Gundry's MCT Wellness. This is what it's called. And I sitting there watching this video before you can buy the product. And I've told you, I hate videos. I like this one. It is so informative and so educational that I noticed several things that I do wrong that I think I'm doing. Oh, I'm going to eat, blueberries and granola for breakfast. That'll be fabulous. And he's like, maybe not. Right? So you learn stuff. But I want to know, what is it about this drink that I like so much? The healthyfat.com. The healthyfat.com, which does something very specific. This is the thing that takes it's a dietary supplement from a cardiothoracic surgeon who lost 70 odd pounds drinking this. So you're drinking water anyway. Why not just put a scoop of MCT Wellness in it? Well, the key ingredient here, it's powdered dietary supplement built around C8 MCT oil. It's called caprylic acid, plus polyphenol ingredients like grapeseed, red currant, and black currant extracts, along with prebiotic fiber for weight management, ketone production. That's when you start losing fat, burning fat, when you start having ketones in your urine, you can tell. Metabolism support, energy, and mental clarity. Typical ingredient lists include MCT oil powder, acacia gum, grape extract, grapeseed extract, red currant, black currant extract, flavoring, sweeteners. The official product page identifies MCT Wellness from, I Googled that. What's in it? Why is this so magical? That's it. It's the polyphenols. All I can tell you, it's delicious. It's affordable. You put a scoop in water and you're not hungry for 5 hours. And if that means you're not eating a meal, lo and behold, what happens? You lose weight. 70 pounds, he says he lost 20 years ago. And he's kept it off, drinking it every day. And he says he's seen thousands of people do the same thing. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Nice little discount there for you.
Was the movie Independence Day, was that what it was called? I didn't see it. Where Bill Pullman is the president and the aliens try to take over? I don't know. You guys will probably know. Independence Day, yes.
Yeah, let's see what you guys are talking about. I have to go down to the most recent comments. My goodness.
What do you mean? Just hit recent.
Oh.
Sort
Yeah,
by
I'm
newest.
sorry. Yeah.
The alien thing is just the intergalactic. I mean, if you follow people that go down deep rabbit holes, they already believe that there's the intergalactic lizard people and
Alien porn apparently is going to be a new genre. Mm-hmm. Todd Schoenman. Yes, I agree.
someone will jump on it. Well, that came out wrong.
But I mean, honestly, are you really all that?
I'm more intrigued by it than I am stunned by it.
What story will make you go, get the out of here? Like, what story? What's it gonna do? What's it gonna be? What?
We just talked about aliens in the middle of the day.
And then Christy Noem's jugular.
I really don't care about that. That's just.
But it's sad. It's so crazy. Yes, Ryan is Magoo. Yes, this is the crazy time to be alive. Yes, you're right.
I don't know if anything's going to shock me anymore.
Genetics. Alex Jones has talked about growing human body parts on animals like ears on mice. Hello, they were doing this at Pitt.
Well,
they were taking aborted fetuses and they were taking the hair of aborted fetuses and growing.
They've been growing
on mice
organs
and
for a while. And let's be honest, a human being can regrow part of its liver. A liver will regrow, So that's not shocking to me either. Like, I really don't know what would surprise me anymore.
What would it take?
Maybe actually getting abducted by an alien. That'd be a hell of a show. Can we do a live podcast from your
spaceship?
Beep, 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 beep. I mean, Star Wars. I'm starting.
We got Starlink.
I'm starting to think Star Wars is actually real.
Hello. Do 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 do. The bar scene.
There you
long enjoyed. Well, I will say that's probably not true. I started paying attention to El Salvador and to the president, Nayib Bukele, after Thanksgiving 2 years ago, when Matt Gaetz and his wife went to El Salvador and met with Bukele and got a tour of that Supermax prison CCOT. And I started falling into this wild need to know more about this amazing cleanup that this young, clear-minded president of El Salvador, what he did to completely turn around his country as the murder capital of this hemisphere into one of the safest places on planet Earth. How do you do that? You got to crack down on the cartels, the gangs, MS-13, all of them. And you've got to root out the evil street by street, house by house. Now, you could say that that was a really heavy-handed way to do it, because what he did is Bukele would bring in the military, bring in the police, and they would cordon off neighborhood sections. And they would go in this concerted, mobilized front, door to door, through the house, searching the house. And anybody who was trying to escape out the back, of course, was arrested and taken away. If you are a criminal or you are a gang member, you're dealing drugs or you're doing whatever, we're going to find you and you're going to pay the price. And that show of force scared everybody, right? And then it got all of your lib human rights people. It's just so, it's wrong. You're hurting people. No. See, we're trying to track down people who've terrorized our country. We're done with it. And that is what Nayib Bukele did. And so I want to read you this because he went nuclear on the UN, and rightfully so. It's a great article at PJ Media. And I want to read this to you because it's so indicative of this crybaby, twisted, deranged left that wraps itself in some kind of do-goodery. This is why I call it the ridiculous do-goodery, thinking that that's going to move the needle and change things. No, it pisses everybody off. The United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights came out with a statement yesterday, and she slammed El Salvador for some recent changes it made to its laws. Here's what she had to say. We urge the authorities of El Salvador to promptly review the worrying constitutional and legal changes adopted last week, which provide for life imprisonment for children as young as 12, in contradiction with international human rights standards. Under these provisions, cases of children sentenced to life imprisonment will generally be reviewed only after they've served 25 years. This approach contravenes the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which requires that children in conflict with the law be treated in a manner that prioritizes their rehabilitation and reintegration, and that deprivation of liberty be used only as a last resort for the shortest possible period. I bet this broad has never been to El Salvador. She hasn't. I checked. Prolonged detention is deeply harmful to children, violates several of their rights, affects their development and their well-being throughout their lives, reduces their chances of successful reintegration into society. It's also essential to improve prison conditions and ensure full compliance with human rights standards for all persons deprived of their liberty. How about you suck it? That's pretty much what Nayib Bukele said to this broad, okay? You have no idea what you're talking about. You've never been to my country. You have no idea how the gangs do it, how they incorporate children, because children traditionally didn't serve long sentences, right? Let's go. While the UN made it sound like the Salvadoran government, led by President Bukele, is just running around locking up children for stealing candy or something, it's, of course, not the truth. And this particular author wrote about El Salvador's Congress voting 59-1 to approve constitutional reforms that would make those committing murder, rape, or acts of terrorism subject to a lifetime jail sentence. Even members of the opposition voted in favor of it, and it was recently ratified. Article 27 of the country's constitution previously prevented any single criminal from serving more than 60 years in prison. Well, they changed that because you know what? Things changed, and people were slipping through the system, and they were bending it. The same way Russian pregnant chicks are coming in and giving their babies, having their babies here. There's always somebody to manipulate the system. Nayib Bukele was like, we're going to change this. We're going to create this monolithic supermax prison. Everybody's going to know if you get sent there, you're not coming home. You're not going outside. You'll never breathe fresh air again. Oh my, it's almost like it worked. It's also important to note that in 2022, El Salvador changed its juvenile criminal laws, lowering the age of responsibility for gang-related criminality to 12 and making it so that kids aged 12 to 15 who are affiliated with organized crime can get up to 10 years in prison, while 16 to 18-year-olds can get up to 20 years. That doesn't mean that all of the teens in El Salvador will serve 10, 20, or even lifetime sentences. It just means that there is an option when necessary. And in El Salvador, it's often necessary. These ain't your average juvenile delinquents. Global recidivism rates range from 20 to 63%, depending on several factors, which means that when a prisoner is released from jail, he or she is 20 to 63% likely to commit a similar crime. If that criminal is a murderer, rapist, or terrorist, even 1% is too much of a risk for a civil society to take. People intent on destroying or ending the lives of others don't deserve a chance to do it again. Their rights do not trump the rights of their potential victims. Oh my, is this applicable to so much of what we're going through with immigration and ICE and all of the leftist nonsense? In a place like El Salvador, where many of the murderers, rapists, and terrorists have an extra element behind their crimes, gang affiliation, it's even more important that these people are no longer able to participate in society so that the millions of people who don't commit crimes can live peacefully. Huh. Isn't that wild? What a thought. It's sort of like what we're going for here. When criminals or gang members are affiliated with organized crime, those recidivism numbers skyrocket. Many on the left like to paint members of MS-13 and Barrio 18, El Salvador's most dominant gangs, as if they're just kids in street gangs who can be rehabbed. The reality is that these are terrorist groups. Members are willing to die or to go to jail to prove their loyalty. For many, it's even become something like spiritual, a religion of sorts. And they feel that justifies their heinous crimes. Many MS-13 members have satanic ties, and they see murders as mere sacrifices to a higher being. We all know now that Bukele did what it took to clean up El Salvador. He had to rely on desperate action to handle a desperate situation. But the global elites, like these folks at the UN High Horse Commission or whatever the hell you call it, like to sit in their ivory towers and tell other countries how to do their business, pretending as if these minors who participate in systematic organized crime are simply kids who are a little misguided. Bukele took to social media and he told the UN broad exactly where she could stuff it with her social experiment. And this is what he wrote. Do you remember April 27th, 1994? Maybe you don't, but we do. El Salvador had just emerged from a bloody civil war that left 85,000 people dead. And then, following your recommendations on that day, the juvenile offender law was approved under the same arguments as the document you're now attaching. 3 years later, Bill Clinton deported the Salvadorans who had formed gangs in the United States. Amazing. They arrived in El Salvador and found a law that essentially granted impunity for minors under 18 to commit crimes. And of course, the newly arrived gang members began recruiting almost exclusively minors, all capable of committing heinous crimes with only the risk of perhaps facing a minimum sentence in a light facility, where they even went so far as to kill and rape other minors who had only committed minor offenses and who could actually have been reformed. The rest of the story you already know. Those gangs became the bloodiest criminal groups in the world. Oh, Joe Biden let them come into our country. Nice. They held 80% of our country hostage. They established a parallel government, and they left 250,000 dead and missing, plus 2 million displaced just in El Salvador, the country they turned into the murder capital of the world. So no, thanks, but no thanks. Take your social experiments to other countries that haven't suffered what we've suffered. Maybe they'll believe you. Hopefully not. We're not going back to the past. Like, obviously, this UN broad, you know who she is? She's some gal who used to work in Europe as some reporter. So she's a white, toxic, college-educated liberal chick who lives 6,000 miles away from El Salvador. Where? Oh, in Geneva, Switzerland, where they've never had to deal with what Nayib Bukele had to deal with. And I would have been none the wiser had I not followed Matt Gaetz on his Thanksgiving sojourn to the country that's now clean and safe and prosperous. Isn't it so curious? All of these people who know nothing about what they're speaking of, finger wagging, wand waving jerks who have no clue. Nayib Bukele did something phenomenal. Donald Trump is trying to do the same thing. Except in our country, it was the Democrat Party that welcomed in the horror, the danger, the threat. And it is still the Democrat Party fighting like hell to keep all of those people here. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I always wondered what turned Chamath Palihapitiya into more of a conservative speaker. Here you've got this billionaire guy. You'd think he'd be all about money, saving money. It wasn't about that. It was about one news event and how the media covered it that awakened the former Democrat. His red pill moment next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I love that example because we see every day these people, Weizhu Zhang in the Oval Office from CBS, who's trying to do one of these to the President of the United States. Do you think Weizhu Zhang's ever been to Iran? Does she have a clue in the world what she's talking about? But they go on and they attack the president and they try to and then he's like, you know what? You're exposing yourself for being a toxic, college-educated liberal chick. And you're the scourge of our society. So I bet you put a cork in it and shut up. But maybe the Democrats will trot out another chick because they think it's time. It's time. No, it's time for us to have great leadership, honest leadership, authentic, consistent, dependable, loyal. That's what we got. And that's what they hate. I saw so many parallels going on in this country right now with what Bukele has gone through. All right, let's see how we're doing. Well, we at least hit 2.7. No. 170 people.
521 comments. That's respectable.
Again, remember, you guys are totally grassroots. You know, and I'd love to sit here and play the game and have questions and make it like a game show so we could get more this or that, but I'd rather just tell you the truth, give you the best show every day I can, and hope that next time you come back with a friend. And to those of you who like literally openly go out and promote us, thank you. You do it when you wear our merchandise, when you walk around with our tumblers, you wear my peace key, right? You shop with our vendors. All that is way more important than these stupid numbers, and it pisses me off that we're relegated to playing some dumb game. Right?
But the nice thing is you know, that dumb game, there's a lot of people that look at that leaderboard.
Oh, yeah.
Including sponsors.
100%.
That say, oh, these people are here every day. Maybe I should check out the show.
I would say 100% of our national sponsors, and that would be anybody other than Kelly Morgan, Simkovich Concussion Institute, Ireland Contracting, right?
Sniper.
And Sniper, all these others, those are national accounts. And those national accounts come through people seeing you and your responses to this program. So I'm extraordinarily grateful, though I do still need the numbers. We're making cheesesteaks for dinner tonight.
I'll be heating something up.
Would you like to come over and have dinner on Saturday with us?
Is that a serious invite?
Why would I have an unserious invite?
Are you having dinner? Or are you having like a cookout?
I don't know what we're going to do. We might make some steaks. We might make some Riverbend Ranch steaks.
Yes.
If my shipment comes.
Is it a definite? What? You can't go to the store?
I would.
For steak? I'll bring the beer.
Picanha. That's what we're going to make.
When? Tonight?
No. Saturday.
What's pecan? I just want a red meated American.
Look up picanha.
Porterhouse.
That's what it is.
Give me just a porterhouse. Ugh.
Isn't that just strip and filet? Radio program. What a weird show today. You know, we're in this impasse with the Save America Act, certainly not on the back burner. Got a president who's keenly aware of what's going on all fronts at all times. He realizes that he's up against this misinformation propaganda machine called the media. He realizes the majority in Congress want to take him out because he's the guy that disrupts the gravy train. Right? He's the one guy who's been consistent. He's the one guy who has told you every single step of the way what he thinks. Regardless of what you think about it, he tells you, and he knows. This is very interesting. I never paid attention to Sean with Polypedia. I don't typically pay attention to Silicon Valley tech guys who are billionaires. But it's interesting when you listen to one absolutely change tune. And here is Polypedia sitting down, and he's talking to some gal on her podcast, and she's asking about this moment. She's like, look, you're from California. You are a card-carrying member of the Democratic Party. Beyond that, you are a prodigious donor. And then all of a sudden, something happened in your world and it all stopped. It changed and you changed direction. And so did your friends, right? He does this podcast. He's got David Sachs. David Sachs, handpicked by President Trump to be a part of his administration, right? And so this podcast lady asks him, what was it? What happened to you? And Polypedia says it was one moment after being pretty well brainwashed and choosing all of the same liberal news sources that a lot of lefties do. Something just didn't add up for the last time. And that was the moment. Listen to what he says it was.
This is not about politics for me. It's about the truth. There was a moment where I was basically like everybody else and pretty brainwashed. My media diet was very much the same as everybody else's. I read the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. I watched a little bit of CNN, a little bit of CNBC, a little bit of MSNBC, a little bit of CBS. Economist every now and then you encounter it on a plane, and you think you know what's going on. And I had a perception of Donald Trump initially from the moment he walked down the staircase in Trump Tower to announce. And then over the course of 6 or 7 years, I realized that some of those fundamental things that I was told about him were just totally false. And there was enough content online where I was almost afraid, but it started with Charlottesville. I was almost afraid to look at it because I'm like, I think I was lied to. And then I saw it. I saw what he said, but then I saw the portrayal. I had originally believed that portrayal until I saw the truth. And then I just started to go down that rabbit hole. So for me, it was an evolution where I was like, I can't believe I'm being lied to by this group of people whose sole responsibility is to hold truth to power. The key word there is truth to power, not your perception or your desires. And I just think that red pilled me, I guess, in a way.
100%. So it was that moment, that thing in Charlottesville, where he did what a lot of us did, where he heard some cherry-picked thing that President Trump said. There are good people on both sides. And then he said, I'm not talking about neo-Nazis. And they selectively edited that part out. The same way 60 Minutes selectively edited out things that President Trump said. The same way the BBC selectively edited things to create the illusion that Trump is just this boob bull in a china shop who's really very gauche and an embarrassment. Look at the man's family. That's all you need to know. If a man can keep not just a relationship with his ex-wife, but still love her the way I know President Trump has loved his 2 prior wives, and be married a 3rd time, and have everybody get along, and have all the kids be professional, responsible, mature, neat people. If a man can keep his family business and his family in check, can you imagine what he can do for our country? Yeah, we can. Because we voted for it. It's time for the left, the judges, the media, the politicians to knock it off. Let the American people get what we voted for. Thanks for being part of the show. I loved it. I hope you liked it too. Come on back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Peace.